What's up, everybody? This is the poker coaching study session. Today, we're going to be looking at
Andy's heart being broken.
So I know some of you guys, and I posted in the group chat, some of you guys have seen it. So this was a fun one. Um, Pocket fives in the bad in the big blind. We get a raise, a call.
Perfect
It-
call. There's nothing else.
yeah, I mean, given that I don't know, I have a couple villains that I really don't know anything about. Um, because like I said, I've been getting beat up so bad and running
Yeah.
so bad, I actually stepped way down in stakes. So I
hmm
don't have a ton of history on most of these players.
Yeah. You could squeeze this. I think this is a better call than a squeeze.
I think it's a better call too. This is a hand that likes to go multi-way. It doesn't mind going multi-way.
Yeah.
Especially
Easy
out
to
of
play.
position. I make a big hand and I win a big pot, or I whiff and I fold, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Bink,
Okay.
beautiful. So action goes bet, call, call. I
Raise.
think this is a beautiful spot for a check raise.
Yes.
There
Yeah.
is all kinds of draws. I
Yeah.
flopped what is basically the fucking nuts.
And a seven is never folding and sometimes is going to suck out on you with its kicker.
Oh, bigger,
Yeah,
bigger,
we need to
bigger.
go huge. We're four ways. Let's just start building a pot. I want to keep as many of these suckers in as I can, right?
Not
Um,
really, not really.
I, I don't, I think you can go even bigger than that because if you put it all in on the turn rather than the river, that's even better for you because then the
Yeah.
flush, you get the max value from flush draw. So if you can size this for that, for a pot size bet on the turn, that's going to be great.
I
So
mean, in general, normally what would you go from out of position? You go 4x plus the dead money. So I
yeah,
would go I would go to like 32.
I
I
guess
would
this
go pretty
makes
big.
sense. A seven's never folding, and most of the flush draws are pretty inelastic as well.
yeah. But
Yeah, you go
And there,
if you
there
go up
can
to
be some. There's a lot of straight draws here.
yeah,
I guess I could have gone bigger.
if you go 20, you have less than a pot size bet on the turn, which is nice. If you go
I mean
25, it's even better. 32, I see the value in 32, but 32, I think you get gut shots. You get the last gut shot folding, and I don't know that you want them to. But
you
also know that with three people in and this many draws, one of them because there's a straight draw out there, a flush draw out there, and a seven with a kicker draw out there. If they all
mhm,
call,
you
going on.
wanna I just think that no matter what you want to get it in, you want to go to streets here. That gets you the most value from all of the draws. So if you can go bigger and get it in two streets, then you're doing good.
Yeah.
I mean, we could have. I kind of again like this is a guy I know. Obviously, I have a history with. Um, I just had to go
Mhm.
small. I really
Ugh,
a
no.
seven again is never folding,
No, but you're
but
losing money
I don't want to
for
for I don't want to push any of the draws out.
right. But you're
And
that's what
I
that
guess like I go big, and the draws still keep calling, and now when they brick, I've already got all their money.
yeah
hmm
yeah
That's why you
exactly.
want to go. That's
That's
why you
yeah
want to play two streets.
yep. So you may have left somewhere between 45 and 90 big blinds on the table,
Yeah.
depending on whether they call the bigger bet on the flop. Remember, but going on. Okay.
So I get this action.
Yeah.
I'm a little confused at this point, but whatever. Bink.
So,
The only draw that
Okay.
completes is mine.
So you
yeah.
have quad. So you're against quad sevens, is what you're telling me right now.
Oh my God.
Yep.
Yeah,
Great.
yeah,
Yeah. Yep. Wow.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
I
but
mean,
that's a good. But your play is good there. And one crazy thing, by the way, this is just going to freak all of you out. We're not going to play this way, but in GTO world, the fives fold pre-flop. You
yeah.
don't you don't set mine
In a
fives and
raked
threes.
environment.
It's a crazy thing because you do set mine the deuces and fours. It's an interaction with unblocking ace five nonsense things that I don't care about.
Right. But yeah, so there was that.
Yeah,
And
that's
then I have
and
one
fives is
more
not,
hand.
and there's no bad beat jackpot on this site for at all, or for
No,
below.
on Poker Stars, there's no bad beat.
Good enough. All right,
So
go.
it was just a wah, wah, wah. Here's my stack.
Yep, absolutely. You should lose that stack and those queens. Well, the queens were short stacked, so I guess they have to do it.
Yeah, but the queens, I mean,
They just called pre-flop.
they just
Yeah, yeah,
flatted
that was
pre. The
it.
queens
So that was terrible.
fucking on that stack should be
Yeah,
jamming pre. And then it goes
hundred
fold. I
percent.
have no idea what he had. Maybe he calls, maybe he doesn't.
Sevens full.
This guy
Awful.
probably folds, actually.
Sometimes, yeah.
Maybe.
Maybe,
And
maybe not.
if he doesn't, you're still all in queens against sevens, and that's great.
Right. Um, then this was just a question I had, and I guess I'll get some clarity for when if I finally decide to come back to the game.
Yeah.
Um, so we end up in a spot like
And Andy,
this.
one question, Andy, before you go further. On the previous one, you see why we wanted you to lose all your money in a slightly different order, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
Okay.
because I mean if the draws brick, if we had gotten it all in, he might have put the rest of his money in too.
You got a chance. Yeah, you got a better chance at that. Okay.
So and it comes up, especially since I dropped down stakes, multi-way, where maybe like there's a raise from villain 6
Mm-hmm.
and this guy calls and both of their, fold to 3-bet are super, super low with enough that so what I'm asking, like this, I mean, this is right on the edge of 3-betting, and I know versus a button open where 3-bet or fold, but when we have a super low 3-bet here and an almost non-existent fold to 3-bet here
Sure.
with a good enough sample to know he's never folding,
Yeah.
do we start mixing in some calls, or do we just tighten up this small bet 3-bet or small blind 3-betting range and hammer him for value with the 3-bets, knowing he's almost never
Yes.
folding?
Yeah, that's what I would go for. Is that he's right? You're gonna be playing a hand that doesn't play great out of position, and then against so you would want to just tighten up and play your strongest hands against someone who's just never folding to 3-bets.
Yeah.
I would think.
Yeah. You absolutely can. Yeah, you can absolutely, and you can make the adjustment of adding in a calling range in the small blind here
Yeah,
because
when we start getting these players that have just non-existent fold to 3-bet, and
yeah,
especially a low 3-bet frequency to our left,
right.
and that's something I've been toiling over a little bit because I feel like just folding here, I'm leaving so much value on the table. Against a
Yeah.
player who's minus 17 big blinds per 100 hands, and that's obviously a decent enough sample size.
Yeah.
And
Well, what's
I mean,
his VPIP is 25. His pre-flop raise is 25.
his VPIP's 25, his PFR is 17, and his RFI is 24.
Well, against
Like by
that
all
range,
metric, when
I
you
don't.
look at his numbers, he looks like a decent player. Other than, I mean, low 3-bet and low fold to 3-bet.
Yeah, that makes me want to 3-bet less. I think calling is reasonable. I just don't want to 3-bet as much. It's not like he's super loose. Like if he was super loose and not folding the 3-bets, then I would be fine with pounding a 3-bet on this guy here. Like if he was opening really, really wide, then I would be happy to fold to even if he's not folding, you're just gonna have a better hand a lot of the time, even when he's opening very wide. And you can play there. It's just tough when you're out of position.
Yeah. And I mean, and obviously it sucks. I'm going to bloat a pot out of position um, with a hand that against a player who's just never folding to a 3-bet
I would
and
play this like
doesn't
a low
fold very
pair.
often on the flop.
I would say play it like a low pair, like fives, and just call here. And
Except
then when you
Right.
hit flops, you you play and play straightforward because when you call here, you're bringing in you're going to be in the middle of the sandwich, or you're going to be at the beginning. You're going to be in the worst spot. You're not going to be in the middle of the sandwich, but you're going to be first act with two players behind you. So I would kind of just play it like it's a low pair, and when you hit flops, you play, or when you don't hit flops, you kind of
yeah.
just fold out.
Although one
Which
thing,
obviously they got this run out.
yeah, just so you know, Brian, Andy's strategy in the small blind is to with small players is in general to be three betting or folding. So against certain players, he's just going to fold, pocket deuces,
I
pocket threes here.
but I play a lot of I do this. I do a lot similar, and I have exceptions to hands that I think
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
completely I just shouldn't be three betting, but I feel like it's criminal when there's a player that's not going to three bet me enough in the blind next to me that
yep,
it's criminal to fold it.
yeah.
So
That's a
it's
good
like
adjustment. That's a perfectly fine adjustment. Yep,
It's
and
like
with
if I have
him,
pocket twos and the guy in the big blind is just never three betting and the guy in
yep,
the button opened, I'm just always calling. I mean, sometimes I'm probably actually going to three bet to isolate if they're a really bad player, even out of position. I'm okay with doing that because I'm willing to turn my under pairs into bluffs and shit. But in a situation where but if they're never folding to three bets, then yeah, I don't really want to three bet quite as much because I miss out on that fold equity. But then I also am fine with calling when I'm never going to get three bet. Just try and hit the flop and then if not fold.
And then these next few hands, these are a few hands that are close to the end of my session yesterday. Um, so at this point, I'm 1100 into the game. Um, and the table is still playing fairly passive. Um, so I opened Jack 10 suited. There's been at this point in the day, there's been maybe 10 three bets the whole session, and 9 of them were me three betting. Um, they're starting to get annoyed with me, but goes around. Georgia, him and I were battling back and forth. This became my buddy. He was laughing. He would throw hands. Oh, you bluffed me, or he kept calling me King Jack because I won like 10 pots against him with King Jack. But he calls. This lady calls, which she was V pipping almost 100%, and she did not have a raise button at all. Zero raise button, as you will see in the following few hands.
yep.
We get this pretty flop.
Huh.
Multi-way against people who don't like to fold. Decide to start putting money in.
Hmm.
I like to see that.
Yep.
Especially because most 90%, 95% of players in this game at this stake, this player pool are checking a 10 here every time.
I like a bigger C bet though.
Yeah, I don't hate a bigger C bet.
What is it about the board that makes you want to do the C bet, or is it just the strength of your hand that's doing it here?
Strength in
It's a
my hand.
combination of both. Oh, are you
Strength in
talking to
my
me or Andy? Sorry.
I was asking you, Brian, when you suggested the bigger one.
So we want to go bigger. I would say that the reasoning for wanting to go bigger here is where the board is, if there was two players to act behind me, I would check and go for a check raise. But with one player left to act behind me, I'm just gonna go bet here because
Okay.
it's less likely to get stabbed, and I think there's enough draws and everything else out there that will call. I mean, you can't be scared of monsters under the bed that you're up against another 10. It's
Oh,
possible, but I'm
whatever.
sure you'll get let know. You got to be good enough to fold later on if you think that that's the case. So I would just go, and honestly, you're up against the biggest concern is Georgia honestly, because he's in position, so he's less likely to slow play, and the other person's less likely to slow play. So they'll let you know when they have it, and his stack's only 196. So we're never, if he has a 10 and we're out kicked, we just lose. But so I would just go bigger because there's enough draws out there that they're gonna call. I mean, what is gonna fold to 15? It's not gonna call 30.
Good enough.
Yeah, I'm thinking probably could have gone bigger. So the thing with Georgia is against smaller sizings, he was floating a lot of flops and then frequently stabbing and getting a little wild on the turn if you checked. And he was
Fancy
kind of
play.
making a living doing that. Like he was all right. He had literally he'd been playing like he just lost a big pot. He had like he was decent player.
And go back one
Yeah,
step, just one question. So when you did your 1/3 size bet, was that just sort of an automatic thought of multi-way, therefore 1/3, or was there something more specific at the
He
time?
bet half. He bet half pot.
Oh,
half
you bet half.
pot,
Oh, never
which
mind.
is, I mean,
My bad.
and CLP, Bart Hansen talks about it in CLP, like absolute sizing in live poker, especially multi-way small pots, half is essentially the equivalent of the the B33 online where we have studied players.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, because that was kind of the standard C bet.
Okay.
And I at this point, like I know that they're both really wide and they're both kind of stationy. Like I don't think I start going much bigger, I'm gonna start losing them.
So
I'd
looking back on it now, what size would you like most? The size you did, smaller or bigger? Looking back at
I
it.
still like the size I bet.
Okay,
I
sounds
could have
good.
maybe gone to 20. If I would have gone bigger, like 20 is the max I lead here.
Okay, good enough. All right, moving on.
He calls, she folds. Okay, that's a good turn. Um, and given what I said, he is kind of stabby, especially like because he was winning a lot of pots where someone would raise pre and they would c bet, the auto c bet, and then when he was in position to him, when they check turn, he would just fire and they fold.
Yeah.
Which he knew I wasn't that type of player. So the next I don't get, but so I check. He fires 10, which was I was so this is where my sizing, I don't love this size now looking back, but I know like in game when I thought about it, the $10 bet just seemed kind of weird,
Mhm.
and I was hoping that he would either think he would put me on a draw or put me think I was some sort of bluffing and come back over the top jam on me. Um I didn't get the feeling he was strong here. I thought he was just making some weird stab. Either that or had like a good hand and um or just thought I was rebluffing him. I was trying to get him to commit more. He pretty quickly just called.
Right. Feeling like an 8 to me.
And we get a brick river
If you
and
continue the turn, you're going for a larger size, right? Than 35.
Well,
what do
Like
you
if you
mean?
like if you just continued to bet the turn instead of checking to him before he bets,
Um
like you're probably gonna bet bigger
yeah,
than 35, right?
if I'm gonna continue on the turn, I'm probably gonna go 45. I don't know if I'm gonna go much bigger.
then go at least 45 with your check raise, is the
The
thought.
thing that gets interesting here is that sometimes even some ace highs start to become inelastic here because
The two
they
pair
can.
nature of the board.
Yes, so I would say that you have a lot of hands that just aren't calling anything. Yeah, you have his bluffs that might start to go a little wild, but I mean, it really depends. I mean, you said this guy is capable, but on this type of board, people aren't generally gonna go super crazy with a bluff. So I would just continue to bet because I think you just have a ton of hands that can't withstand any heat, and you have a ton of hands that are willing to call a lot of money. So I would
And
say because now you got $35 in value here on the turn instead of like I would assume. I mean, what an eight's not folding to basically any size right now. So let's go pretty decent here, decently big, and then you get and then maybe the eight folds on the river because they're scared. But I just think you're missing value here by checking to him because I just think even a player like him that's going to stab wide on the turn after being checked to, they're on this type of board. I mean, how often are they really going to do that I mean, like at most, his bluff is going to be a small bluff to try and get you to fold your bullshit. and then what you don't really get a lot of value. So I would say it would make more sense to just continue to go big and go big here.
Yeah, yeah, that makes sense.
And when you go for the check raise spot, you're doing that because you think you can get more money in on the turn with a check raise than you can with a bet. And so you even when he goes to 10, you have to still do that. You have to bet at least the size you would have bet. Not you have to. I believe you should bet at least the size you would have bet had you continued, had you done a straight bet line.
right.
Okay, so you go 35,
He calls,
right?
and this is I don't know if I love this. I come out 100. Um,
I like that you didn't just jam, but I think that this is kind of an in-between size. Like how much, if you had to fold an eight here, I think that you can maybe get an eight to fold. I'm not really in the business of getting people to fold full houses, but I think if you had to make an eight fold, you have a reputable line to jam and get an eight to fold. So I wouldn't go all in, but I would go more than 100. I would go like 150, I think, to get value from an eight.
He's got one.
Well, that
He's
puts
got
him
enough.
in. Yeah, that puts him in. So
Yeah,
yeah, shit.
yeah.
I mean, yeah, now if he has 150 behind, yeah, I just put the money in.
yeah. Um, and honestly, and I thought when I bet it, I maybe should have checked because he tanked for a minute
Hmm.
and then um
I don't trust them to put money in the pot for you.
He's if he's got an 8, I don't think he's. I don't know that he's going to even bet raise an 8.
I
I
don't
don't
know
think.
that he would have. I think I mean obviously being results oriented, he windmilled, he ended up folding and he windmilled, showed me Queen Jack of Diamonds.
Oh,
Um so he's obviously never calling this. Um
Yeah,
but
I mean, technically results oriented, you got a little bit more money out of him. I don't know. After you bet the flop, check raise the turn, what the hell is he doing calling with queen jack of diamonds? It's time to get out of there. I mean, I
he's
guess
got
you
because
have a
he's got a
draw with
straight
a
flush
straight
draw.
flush.
He's got
he's
a
he's
Yeah.
calling for
one
a
out.
one outer.
He's
So in
going.
that situation, then do you think he calls a larger size with it? Because I mean, he's getting your
Maybe.
whole stack if he hits it, is what he should be knowing, is he's getting everything you got if he hits his nine of diamonds.
Right. I definitely could have sized bigger on the check raise, I think. Um and obviously being results oriented, knowing what he had, because he knows that like, and we were chatting, we were laughing back and forth. He was bitching about the weather because he had literally just moved up here from Georgia a couple months ago, so this is his first Michigan winter.
Screw that.
So let's see. So
Um,
on sizing on this. Um, let's play it out once in your head. Do it. Take the bet line and tell me your sizes. Bet.
okay, so given
Go
what
to the
we
flop.
have here on this pot, I would have bet 45, maybe 50.
Okay.
Um,
Scotty.
so let's say I go 45, the smaller size. So it's 45 and 45 is 90. So
Hmm.
now we're at 153.
So
So it's an extra.
why not go bigger on the flop?
I can. I don't think, and obviously given what he has,
Hmm.
um,
Well, what's their range of hands that can continue? Like, I wouldn't want to worry about him getting fancy in this situation because you still have another player in there anyways. So you have two ranges that can have a lot of inelastic hands. So I'd say, like, I would likely be betting pot or over betting just on flop. Because, I mean, what are their flush draws aren't folding to at least to one size, to one bet. And then what, I mean, their eights, yeah, I mean, you might get a little, their eights might call a little bit more, but you don't have a lot of value. I mean, I'm just going to look at the bigger hands that can continue here. And I'm going to I'm going to try and target those. Like their combo draws, their flush draws, their combo draws, their nut flush draws, they can have weaker 10x than you, which is possible. And when they just call behind. So, I mean, I think there's just a lot of bigger hands that can continue here that will call a
right.
bigger size. I mean,
I
not
mean,
being results oriented, but his is one of the hands that I'd be thinking like, okay, this is a hand that will I want to target and try and get a lot of money from is a Queen Jack of Diamonds or even King Queen of Diamonds, all that type of stuff.
yeah, and I think had I so if I think of the inverse, let's say I had 8 9 of hearts and it came 10 8 8.
Hmm.
I would consider betting a little bigger, but because there's just not a ton of good hands they can have other than draws. And I mean, yeah, you're right. Flush draw is probably never folding to one bet.
Right.
Well, but think about it
Um,
like this, when you say that there's not a lot of good hands that they can have, then we're not going to get a lot of money from those
Right.
hands. So why target those hands? Let's target the
Right.
hands that can give us a lot of money. And
Yeah.
like we flapped a big
fair.
hand, let's target the hands that can pay us a lot of money, not the hands that can't pay us anything.
So I agree with that, and I want to say it in a just slightly different way, which is you don't look at the average. So if you say, some hands will call 80 and some hands will call 10, so therefore I should take the average of 40. It's like, no,
Right. I'm
go
either
for
going to go the
45.
80 or the 10.
Right,
Yep.
right. And here
Um,
you're at the one where you've rightly seen you're getting called by, pairs. A lot of pairs will call one bet and all the draws. But when you're saying, well, ace jack, he can have that. It's like ace jack is likely folding, not definitely folding, but just don't aim for it. All right.
But even, yeah, even like
Yeah.
here in this situation, I'm not, even if you bet 40 here, I'm not going to fold to one bet after you continuation bet because a lot of players just over C bet. So
Yeah.
if they're C betting far too often, if I have an 8 here, I'm going to call one time and I'm going to evaluate your sizing on the turn. Now, if you go huge on the turn, I'm going to fold out my 8, but you aren't going to get much more money from my 8 either way.
Yeah.
right on. Yeah.
And then when you
Um, and I mean, I do. I think the biggest I would have gone on the flop is 20.
okay, so
Um,
let's take the line. So you bet 20 on the flop on
okay.
the
So
turn.
that's
20.
20.
You're gonna go
So
20,
an extra 10. So 73.
right? 73, and he's got 175, 176.
Yeah.
Now we have 8x flush draws, straight draws.
Right.
And
So we're
now the
going
flush draws and straight draws are unlikely to pay us a lot of money on a double paired board, but some ace highs be going to become inelastic because it's a double paired board and they have ace kicker. So now they beat your pocket kings, queens, jacks, all that stuff. Oh no, they don't. They don't. They don't. I'm stupid.
But
But yeah, yeah. But yeah,
they're drawing.
they
they
beat your
have
king
decent
high, your
showdown.
queen high.
Yes, all that stuff. So they have. I mean, they have decent showdown now. I mean, you can go kind of like still go to a decent size and get those hands to call here.
Yeah.
Or you can go small. I mean, there's just nothing to target small, so you just continue big here.
Yeah. So we're at
'Cause
73. And I could come out, I mean, bet fucking what, 60, 60?
at least, I mean, I'm gonna really target just 8x. I mean, I should target tons of 8x here because it's like they just don't have much. And then the one possible hand that he basically can have is the combo draw for the straight flush.
Right.
And don't think that one's gonna call a ton of money because, they got one out, but you know.
And then on the river, I think on the river you just make your bet and he folds.
Yeah.
I think checking this river to try to get him to bluff is letting an eight get off the hook too easily.
Yeah, like what Bub said in this thing is that we're basically a lot of the time going to be targeting an 8 here, just picking a sizing that we think an eight's never folding to. So I would probably be going more than
Right.
65.
Okay.
I mean, if you go bet, you don't think an eight. If you go bet check, you don't think an eight is going to bet the river.
I don't trust that recreational players are going to build pots for me. I'm not talking about the river. I'm talking about right now. I'm talking about going bet here, and I'm going to bet big to whatever size I think an eight's just never folding to,
I think an
and then I'm
eight
going to
call,
continue the river.
I think an eight calls the river more often than it bets the river. So is no eight going to bet the river? No. Many people with an eight will bet the river. Um, but
I, I can tell you if
but
you're
I think
playing
more of
against
them will call.
me.
I think more of them will call a larger bet on the river than they will bet themselves.
I can say that if you're playing against me, I am most likely, if you went bet, check the river, I'm going to bet my 8. But most players in my games don't. I mean, they don't bet the second nuts after being bet into.
And
I
are you going to
I
bet? And is the river, the other thing is, and is the 8 going to bet larger than you are going to bet?
I think if we go bet check raise, then we shouldn't check the river
Mhm.
because the line was already way too strong. I
Yeah.
don't think once you go bet check raise, they're gonna bet an 8. But I think had you get gone bet small on the flop and bet small on the turn, because one of the ways to get them to raise off with the strong hand is just to bet small. If we bet small, I think very likely an 8 is gonna bet the river. And then if we went small, if he had some kind of a misdraw, they're gonna likely to bet the river as well. Small as a bluff, I
They
would think.
generally,
And then I
yeah, I
want,
mean, maybe a small bet on the river, but how
Yeah,
much more money
but
do
I
we get
think
when we go
I
big
think
bet the flop, big bet the turn,
yeah,
big bet the river? Like that's just, I think it's just the
yeah,
in this situation when you get this flop where there's plenty of draws and things that can continue, and then when you get to the turn, a lot of those draws are going to be very elastic now. So let's not target them. Let's basically just target 8x. We
yeah.
just go bet big, bet big, bet big.
Yeah, I think if we go bet big, I think we should just keep betting because once you bet big, like on a double pair board, are they really gonna call with a flush draw when we could have a 10 and have a boat?
Yeah,
one more thing.
So
that's what I'm saying is we're basically just deciding what we're targeting, and I think it's not worth targeting these weaker hands in this situation.
yeah, I really don't like betting and then check raising like with this kind of hand because it's way too strong.
He had a reason for it. His reasoning was that this guy will come out and stab a lot of turns. I just think as a bluff after getting C after a C bet on the flop, but I just think this is a very specific board that's just unlikely that he's going to start going crazy with bluffs
Yeah, it's
We
like
noticed
because
that
it's
his bluff was really small.
yeah.
yeah. So you're not really getting, say if you just go with 45 instead of check raise to 35 and he's gonna call with the same hand, like then there's no reason to check raise.
So Bub asks, is there a sizing on the turn that would get called like by ace X, just ace high,
Yeah,
and
if you
might
bet
get
small.
right, and
So,
might get an 8x to raise.
yeah, you when you bet small, you might get an 8x to raise.
Right.
That's how it goes. If you bet small,
On the turn or
you're
the river?
He's talking
the
the turn.
turn, the turn.
On the
Like when you bet small, the good thing is like their weaker hands are gonna call. Like ace high is gonna call, and you don't fold out their flush draws where they're like drawing totally dead.
Right.
Um,
Hmm.
and
There's one flush
and
draw that's not.
Yeah.
and they're always gonna raise you with a 10 or an 8. More likely with a 10, less likely with an 8, but there's still a chance.
Yeah, and that's a part of why I chose. I mean, with his small sizing here on the turn, part of why I chose the size I did, and maybe I should have just led really small. I should have just gone with a turn C bet of like 20, 25 and try and get him to spaz with an 8. But I kind of thought, when he bet with the small check raise, I could keep him in with a lot of his garbage that maybe, if he's on a flush draw and the
Nah,
two of
I
diamonds peels, he's going to call something on the river. But I thought maybe this small size in game by check raising small relative to the pot, that maybe it would kind of get him to spaz a little bit here. And
nah, I
I
don't
think we need to
trust.
choose. I think we
Yeah,
need to be more precise with what we're targeting here,
yeah.
and but be very specific on what we're targeting here.
yeah,
Like,
I
mind you,
what?
I'm obviously at this point in the downswing and the session, I'm not thinking 100%,
Yeah,
and
no, I don't.
I I'm starting to get a little sideways, and like I feel okay, but now like looking back reviewing, I'm like, even like when I was inputting this hand, I was thinking like, the fuck was I thinking?
Yeah, but I mean, let's just. I mean, I personally think we just go big on the flop. and in the turn we go. See, I don't like the idea of like trying to target ace high and 8x.
So I'm gonna stop you here for a second, Brian, just because the thing you're saying you've said clearly already. So we've
Yeah.
gone through those two lines. So those are clear. It's very clear why big bet makes sense. It's clear why small bet makes sense. It's even clear why small bet and the check makes sense. So the last one I want to go to before we move on from this hand is if you are deeper and on the river, you do the bet and get raised, or you do the check raised and get three bet. Either of those, you do not jam. You do not jam over their raise
On the river?
on the river. You are not trying to get it in, all in. If they raise, I'm saying you're deep enough that their raise is not all in, because the overwhelming majority of the time you are chopping, and when you're not chopping, you are up against quad eights when they raise there. And
Yeah,
when
you're
they
talking if we're, 500-600 deep at this point.
Yep, just that reminder. On the
Yeah,
river, you should not go three bets on the river. You can go to if
no.
you go you can go
I
for
make it
bet some
100 and he goes to 350, 400. I'm just calling.
exactly.
Absolutely.
Right. And if you choose to check raise the river, you can check raise the river. But you do not want to be the person who puts in a third bet on the river here.
No, and if you check raise now, if I check raise the river and it goes bet, check raise, three bet, at that point I have to consider folding,
You have to
right?
consider it. You have to consider it. I'm not saying you should, but you have to consider it. Yeah. But at a minimum, don't you be the person who puts in the third bet on the river. Okay. Next hand.
All right.
Right. And Brian, it's not anything that anything you said wasn't right. It's only that you had said it already.
Yeah, no, I'm just wondering the reasoning behind targeting, like splitting what we're targeting on the turn.
No, we're against that.
Yeah.
We think choose one, but we had said that already. And Sam was arguing for why betting small to target the bottom part of it, and hoping that that would encourage the eight that you were targeting to raise. So that's an idea too. We don't know which is best.
It's actually not a terrible idea.
Yeah, yeah. So those are all good lines. All right.
So here we are, a few hands later.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Only a couple villains that matter. One villain that matters. Our friend Passive Paula from the last hand,
Right.
who literally does not have a raise button pre-flop,
Right.
doesn't have a fold button either.
Mm-hmm.
And is I mean just very, very passive and nice enough lady. I'm pretty sure she either still or used to run a Asian massage parlor.
Oh,
I've been tugged.
So
Yeah.
this is a fine call behind at a 1-3 game where people don't squeeze.
Oh, see, I've been squeezing the fuck out of these people all day
But
and
you don't.
getting a lot of folds or getting
Yeah.
like heads up,
Yep.
and then it just goes check bet fold.
That's
That's
nice.
how I've been able to maintain a decent stack, and then
Oh, but on this one, on this one, my question was, but I thought you said she doesn't have a fold button,
no, she does not, and she does not have a raise button either.
right? So
Did pre-flop.
that might be a reason not to do this one as a squeeze. But maybe you still do. You get heads up against her, and
I've been squeezing the shit out of her all day.
okay, all right. And let's see your size. Let's go back and just see. Is the raise size in this game typically 15?
It's been 10 with no limpers, and my open is generally in this game is 10, and then with the first limper, I go to 15, 18, 21, or
Okay,
20.
okay,
Usually so 15 with the first limper, and then I add one big blind for each additional limper.
okay. All right. So you go to 20.
So this is a bit even for the limpers, this is a pretty big open size for the
Okay,
game,
good. All right. Just want to make sure of that.
but this is kind of a point in the night where like a lot of the people that started the table are now gone. This
Right.
guy's new. He's V-pipping literally 100%. Um, this is some young kid that I have no idea what he was on, but he lost a lot of money very quickly and then left. This is a young black guy who plays really, really well. And it was funny because we were talking through the session. We became buddies, and I found out I'm friends with his dad.
Okay. All right. So we go.
But anyways,
So we go to the pot. We go 5 ways to the flop. We are in such fit or fold mode now.
Bye bye, $20.
yep.
Or hello, a couple hundred. Ooh, yeah.
Ooh,
You can't fold to one bet. And do you want to make the
you could
bet?
make a bet.
You can make the bet here. You can. Um, okay.
What is
Dig it.
her range?
Her range is
I,
some overpairs.
I would wait 1 second.
Um,
Sam, don't you want to wait 1 second before asking that question? Don't you want to see the turn and see her check or bet and then ask the question?
No, once they call,
Once
I
she
want to know
calls,
what his range is. What's her range is.
Okay.
I mean, that
so
size is significant, right?
she's been floating. She doesn't fold many flops, so her range is still pretty. It's overcards. It's literally two overcards.
So,
It is
well,
some 8x.
she's not gonna fold you with like queen jack of clubs, right? Did she?
She might no, she might float with queen jack of clubs because
Yeah, but
she's
you
been
said
saying
she
all day,
doesn't
"You're full
float.
of shit. You're full of shit. You're full of shit."
Yeah,
To
but
And
you're
your
saying she doesn't float much.
No,
to
it
her
doesn't
wait,
fold much. Not Sam. Not she
full,
doesn't.
she floats a lot.
Right.
She
So she's not
Um,
has
playing fit or fold. She's not paying fit or she's not playing fit or fold on the flop.
your
she
fifty
will float a
dollars is
lot.
significant, right?
Um, I
I
don't
mean,
think
it's
it
a
is to her.
okay.
Right.
She seems like I mean the way her jewelry, it's definitely not costume jewelry.
So she checks it.
Um,
She checks the turn. She checks this turn to you, correct?
yep.
Okay. So now, uh, say her range, but not in hands, but in buckets.
In buckets, she
Yeah.
has some overpairs.
Right.
Um, not that many, but she has some.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, that's not true. She has nines plus.
She has nines and tens and jacks easy. Maybe she doesn't have aces,
Um,
but she's got nines, tens, and
she has some like some draws, and then she has just pure overs.
okay. Great.
flush draws.
She
She has a
yeah,
five,
she has flush draws. She can have a five. She can
like
have
5, 6, 7,
four
5.
X. She can have diamond draw. She can have everything that she limped in pre-flop with. She can still have. She has floated most, if no one else calls pre on the flop, she floats super wide,
Right. I would
especially
expect.
against me.
Right. The one thing I would expect here is if she has some 8x, right? We all agree she has some 8x in this line.
And
She
most
And
has
eight
some
eight
8x.
X beat
yep,
us.
if she has 8x, it's almost always better than ours.
Yes.
Just want to. She very, very rarely has a worse 8x than you.
She only has one
So
8x worse.
8-6.
Yes.
Yep.
we don't beat her 8X. We don't beat her over pairs. We could get value from her flush draw. If he has a 5, we're losing.
Mhm.
We could
So,
maybe get value from 7-4, seven
and so
four
this
six
thing, like
four.
she has, obviously she has a ton, but she gets very tight on turns where she just doesn't continue much. And this is where I think I made the huge mistake.
Oh
Yeah.
no.
No, that's not the sizing.
No. Given the fact that she gets really tight on turns, I probably could have bet 75 here, and she continues with value and folds everything else.
This is just
Um,
not a three street hand, is what makes it tough.
Yeah.
no.
If you bet the turn, you're checking most rivers that don't give you a straight or a flush or a full house. And by full house, I mean 8. I don't mean 5.
Yeah, but at this point, I mean, I'm starting to get, and I'd won a few hands. So this 300, I just didn't adjust my stack. I actually have quite a bit more. I had won a couple hands in between the Jack 10 hand and
Yeah.
here.
That's not the
I've
excuse, though.
no, it's not. The excuse is fucking in my mind. I'm thinking she gets super tight and folds a lot of rivers or turns. I mean, and by that logic, I could have bet 75 here, and she's gonna fold almost everything.
And so
Um,
your bet size, did you jam? Is that what I just saw?
Yes.
Yeah, you jammed and
and
she just folded.
she tanks and tanks and
Oh.
tanks.
Interesting.
And like looks like it is just the most painful decision she's ever had to make.
With pocket tens.
And she says, I'm pretty sure you've got me here, and flicks in the call.
You're fucked.
All right, there you go.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, I love it.
Mhm.
I and at first, like she didn't mean, she wasn't trying to slow roll me or anything.
Right.
But she turns her hand over and her cards didn't separate. It was completely accidental. So the first card I saw was the ace of diamonds. And I'm
Right.
like, oh, you got there on the flush.
Huh.
And then she was like, oh no, and separated them and had aces. I said, nice hand, and mucked.
Yeah.
And this was my final hand of the night.
So go back 1 second and
Oh.
just tell me, not based against her particular hand, but how would you play the hand now? Just give me the sizes you would do now. And if they're the same, that's okay, but just tell me what it would be.
Flop, I like the same size.
Okay.
I felt so. This guy literally has even said, he prefers to be the aggressor rather than play passively. So even though he would rather bet into a razor, so I'm pretty sure he has nothing. This guy is just, his range is so wide that he can have, he's literally v-pipping 100 hands pre-flop, splitting his ranges. He is raising his
Yep.
good stuff and just calling raises everything else.
Gotcha. So you would
This
take
guy is
take this-
donking out draws and good hands.
Yeah.
So
you would take the same size on the flop. So let's take
I would
that
take the
size on
same
flop.
size on the flop.
We get heads up.
So we get heads up.
We
And now, even given what I've
would you like
said,
to do now?
thinking
Again,
clearly,
thinking
knowing that she folds almost everything
Mm-hmm.
on the turn,
Mm-hmm.
other than like strong, strength.
Yep.
I could have bet 65 to 75 here.
Okay.
Would
So
have
you bet
given me the same information.
Okay.
She's
so you bet
folding.
75.
Yeah, but I don't think it's a bet, though.
Oh.
You have showdown here. You
No,
don't
hold on,
beat.
Sam. Hold on. We're not correcting Sam. Wait a second before we correct him. I just want to see what the analysis, and then you're going to go next, Sam. So the change here is going to be, you're going to bet 65 here. She's going to call.
65.
He calls.
She's
and
going to call.
Then the river comes.
And then she's going to check.
Right. On the
Turn
diamonds.
river, and I'm just going to check it back.
Gotcha. Okay. Good enough. Now, Sam, you were saying, so that's how you would play it now. Sam, you were saying on the turn. What you think it should be on the turn, Sam?
I would just check it back. Not because I saw the hand. I mean,
Right.
you got to narrate their ranges.
Hmm.
Because, like, if he's limb calling quite a bit, then he has a lot of eights that beat us. Passive players like this will have jacks, tens, and nines in their range. And sometimes he has a 5. We bet here and get check raise. This hand has a lot of equity that I do not want to fold. Yeah, like there's no reason for me to bet here. Like if he had pocket 6s or pocket 7s, we beat that. Yeah, and then if he checks to me on the river, then I could evaluate and maybe value bet the river and maybe get him to call out of ace high or something.
Right. And so the only hand class that line performs worse against is the flush draws, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Right. Yeah, yeah, that's it. And I'm saying, so I'm just pointing that out. So it performs better against all the overpairs. It performs better against all the other eights. Um, it performs fine against the straight draw, given that you have the 7.
Yeah, but you gotta put it like in the solver. You gotta put her range of hands into the solver and look at your equity
Right.
against that range to see if you have enough equity to bet. I don't think this hand has.
Mhm. Yeah, this hand, the only bucket that this hand benefits from a bet with is
And
the
draw.
flush draw bucket. Is the draw bucket, but specifically the flush draw bucket because the straight draws are crippled by your 7.
Yeah. And
So
then on top of that,
What
let's say
about
he
checking the
has
flop?
let's say he has ace high flush draw and you bet kind of small, like 55, 60. She's not really getting a bet. Like you're not really denying much equity
no, but you get
against, you know.
no, but you're getting value from something that you may not get value from on the river. So
Yeah.
you're giving them you are losing EV against that bucket, but it performs better against the other buckets. Okay.
Yeah.
Anything else?
So,
Anybody
I
before
do,
next time?
Well, I wouldn't
talking about it
classify
now,
this
I
as
do
a.
kind of like the check turn line. And then, so I check turn, pot's going to be 204. The 10 of diamonds peels, and she's going to check to me. If she checks to me, I have seen her make some big folds on the river, like over pairs, because she'll look at her hand and like show this half of the table when she's playing a hand against these players.
Mhm.
So like when draws complete, she is capable of. So when she checks to me, I probably could have bet 100 here on the river, and maybe folds, maybe doesn't, but
She's definitely not folding an overpair if you bet 100.
I've actually seen her fold when draws complete on the, because she was flashing us her cards
Right.
on purpose. Like it would, a draw would
Yeah.
complete, somebody would bet, and she'd flash like pocket kings, and I'm like, how the fuck do you? I mean, so like I know that she's capable. Like she just limp calls pocket kings. I haven't seen aces yet, but I have to imagine it's there.
Oh my god, yeah, you saw her limping pocket kings. That makes this even not at all a bet. If she's
Yes.
limping that far up and just calling, that means her range is like much stronger.
Yeah, and like I said, I don't know if you were here for the first part of the session, Sam. I At this point, I'm just defeated. I'm not thinking straight. I probably should have left. Um, I have the hand. I have that fucking the quads over quads the other day online. I think it was 7 or 8 sets. I think it was 8 sets that I had flopped at this during this live session yesterday and lost every single pot. I was losing 2 pair to, flopping top 2, and they were getting their bottom pair, tripping up. It was rough. And then like I'd start to grind back up a little bit and then lose a big pot on some dumb shit. Grind back up a little bit, lose a big pot on some dumb shit. This was my own dumb shit.
Okay, so my question before we move to the next hand for Andy is this. So having heard Sam's reasons, do you prefer right now the big bet on the turn, a small bet on the turn, or a check? Which do you prefer?
I think I prefer a check on the turn.
Okay, good enough.
And then she's going to,
Probably going to bet the river, and you're going to call, but she's probably going to bet
yeah, if
small
she
on the
bets
river.
small river, I call. If she checks, I might consider betting like 100. Um, and she may say, "Oh," because she's seen me a couple times bet a flush draw on the flop and then check turn, and then when the flush comes in, bet the river.
If you bet 100 on the river, are you intending that as a value bet or a bluff?
Bluff mostly.
Okay. I would make the comment then that this hand is not your best choice for the bluff because it does have legitimate showdown against some of her range, against all the straight
Mhm.
draws. So you don't have to. So when this goes check check, you're going to win some time with no risk. And when you put in the 100, you are now risking 100 to get her to fold those overpairs. And on a bet check bet line, I'm not saying she never will, but
Right.
you know, that bluff will be much more efficient when you bet one of your draws on the turn that didn't get there. All right. And her ace of diamonds is going to make it harder for her to lay down that hand, but whatever.
I don't think she's thinking anything of that
Okay.
sort.
Then her
She's
aces
nowhere near
then her aces
that
makes it
thinking.
harder because then her aces make it harder for
What
her
do
to
we
lay. Okay.
think about checking the flop?
Uh,
I wouldn't want
no,
to I wouldn't want to check this flop because
no,
all the garbage that's folding out in the other three hands has got so much equity against you for free.
It's true.
And when you don't have the best hand, you have a very nice draw. You have a gut shot to go with your top pair. You have a back door to go with it. I think the bet on the flop I think it's good to bet the flop. Having said that, who wants to check the flop? Anybody? Who's a
I
flop?
think it's only
Who's a
me.
flop check?
I would like to check the flop here just because if I'm betting the flop, I'm always checking the turn.
Right.
Almost always.
So
But if
Brian is
I'm
a flop
checking,
checker.
I'm gonna go two streets.
Who else is a flop checker? Either say it or type it. What other flop checkers do we have?
even
I'm
given
the only
discussion,
flop checker.
I'm all for. I still stand on my bet on the flop. I maybe could have bet a little bit smaller, but
I was either I'm either betting smaller or checking, I would say.
Yep. Rain, Sutton, Dean. Anybody else? Anybody else checking the flop here?
Nope, just me.
Just you. Well, we don't have answers for the
Yeah,
others.
checking's not. It's not bad either. So betting
Right.
smaller is not bad either.
I like betting smaller or checking. I think we filter a lot of strong hands when we go to 50. Even if you say it's not truly significant, I feel like it's still
uh,
a pretty large size for the game. And when
yeah,
they call 50 here, it's like filter a lot of strong hands here.
because this hand it's not really thick value. It's like somewhere in the middle.
Yeah.
So I don't think five ways it warrants like a half pot bet.
no, I probably could have gone. 35, 40 would have
Yeah.
accomplished the same thing.
I think you can go, yeah, $30 and get those overcards to fold. And then I would just go check the turn still, most likely, and just do the line of check or bet check call.
Yeah. And bluff catch base on size on the river.
Yeah.
And the size doesn't have to be that significant given that the most obvious bluff comes in. All right. What else you
You
got?
even have
This
the
was
option if they check the river when the flush completes, you have a great option to blast off too. And now you have a deeper stack to maybe even get things like aces to fold. The question is whether she's actually going to fold aces.
Yeah.
so
Pocket threes.
somebody had decided that we're going to do a straddle round, button straddle round.
Button straddle. Okay.
This is the old passive Paula, passive Penny. This is the old Asian lady.
Okay. Question on the button straddle. Is this a small blind axe first button straddle or a
Small blind X first.
okay.
And
I have
so this is at MGM in Detroit. Their straddle is actually 5, not 6.
right. That's funny.
And that's you cannot straddle more, you cannot straddle less. It is
Okay.
so it becomes 1-3-5. So this is actually 5, not 6.
Gotcha. Okay.
But this is same Asian lady.
All right.
So we get, and I mean, I always talked about, versus a button straddle. I have pure limping range from the blinds. This pocket threes is probably a limp fold. But it is a complete, especially I have 3 in. I have to, it's $2 to complete. So this is probably a limp fold though.
Yeah. And by the way, I'm also okay with it as a fold, as an open fold, even for $2. And not because of this $2 you're putting in, but just because of how bad your position is going to be for the rest of the hand in a giant multi-way pot. But calling it especially at a table where people don't raise, it's got to be fine. Yep.
Yeah,
Okay.
like I said, I had very few 3-bets on this day. I mean, I think the whole session I had 9 3-bets.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that was because I might have only had 12 opportunities. Like nobody was raising.
Yeah. Yep. Okay.
I,
So you're probably going to get
I,
to see the flop cheap. Okay.
Yep. And just side note, the pocket threes is in my limp fold range
Yeah.
versus the button straddle.
Good. All right.
She checks. Bink.
Okay. 4 players
Fold.
behind.
What happened here?
We check.
No, what's pre-flop?
This button straddle he completed.
Yeah, this is a button straddle, except it's to 5, not 6. Because they do this weird thing where the straddle, under the gun straddle or button straddle is to 5, not 6.
The limp pot?
Limped pot.
Limp pot.
Okay.
All right. Here we go.
So obviously I'm not betting here. That would
No,
be silly.
obviously you should be betting here. Lead.
And if you lead, a 10 is going to call you, and a flush draw
Flush draw is gonna call you. Just lead.
That's for sure.
Just go bet.
It's fair. Actually, it's really not a bet. 6-handed.
See, here's your problem. You bet the wrong hands. 5-way, you bet a middle hand. This is the top of your range, and there's a bunch of callers. They're not folding their flush draws. Just bet.
But it is a wet and dynamic board with a whole lot of players to act behind me.
Right. So
Yeah, you don't want to check raise.
You don't want to generate fold equity here.
No, just go bet.
bet looks like you have a 10.
So
I see you have a
there
3.
is so at MGM on Thursdays,
Yeah.
there is the high hand is every 30 minutes, 500 every 30 minutes. There is the current high hand is aces full of 3s, and it is aces full of deuces is the qualifier.
Right.
And there is 2 minutes left in the window.
You shouldn't be worrying about high hands. Don't think about
You're
that.
right. I'm not.
Just think about
I can
how am I going to
if
get
I
the
bet-
most money out of my hand?
if I bet and everybody folds because there's more than $10 in the pot, I can show my hand and I still qualify.
Good.
It does not have to go to showdown.
I guarantee you that not everybody's going to fold. They're not going to pull a flush draw. Forget it.
Right. Okay, so let's see how you played it.
Broken
where it
down
checks.
hero.
Okay,
I'm a broken man right now.
Let's play it out. So you check with 4 behind, hoping to get a stab. There's your first stab of 25. That's nice. There's
Big
a call.
stab.
This is our Asian lady that calls.
Yep. Now you definitely want to
Oh
raise.
gosh.
You got to raise.
Yeah, I should be.
He's too and if you don't raise now, you have to donk the turn.
Oh, yes. I love donking the turn.
Yeah.
Just donk.
Why? Like, you're
Why?
not gonna get out.
There we
drawn,
go.
Very
Okay.
small dunk for like 1/3 pot, but and this is where it starts to get really fucking weird.
Beautiful. Oh,
I'm like, and I'm sitting there, I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, this is weird, right?
This is weird.
I mean, to check call
Okay.
flop and then check raise to this action to a tiny little size on the turn.
it's probably like queen 10.
Yeah, Queen 10 makes sense.
I don't think so. Or like King Jack of Hearts that decided
No, they're
to
not.
float.
No, they're
They're
not
not.
check raising that. There's no bluff here.
Yeah,
It's
that's
all
crazy.
value.
Because he can
So this
get me
is that
fold.
young. This is a young. He's pretty aggressive. He's a solid player. He would be capable of floating couple overs, backdoors. Like he's a thinking player. But yeah, it's most likely Queen 10, something like that,
No,
right?
they're not. They're not. It's not. Forget it.
Obviously, we know he does not have a 3.
No. Okay, just call. Let them in.
Yep.
Oh, nice.
And then he checks. I'm like, what the fuck?
So
I'm like, huh. So at this point, I'm like, all right, I'm never checking to passive Paula, the old Asian lady. I'm not checking here, obviously. I'm gonna bet.
what is their range?
Right. And her range, as we've seen, can be literally anything.
I'm not. I'm not worried about her range.
Just jam.
His range could be some. I mean, to check raise Queen 10 and then check here seems really weird.
I think you have a small bet here because they either miss a draw or they have a 10. It's not a jam.
Yep.
So
Either
what
that or
happened?
he
What
had like
happened? Yeah, what happens when we bet small? A 10 may call.
A queen
Uh,
does raise. A queen raises. Yeah.
yeah,
we
a
can bet
queen
some-
raises.
You're right. A
Queen
queen
10 definitely raises, and maybe some ace high calls. So this is a small bet.
Yeah, I saw it wrong.
and I thought maybe his range was something like Queen X of clubs. That he turned a little equity and that's why he went for the check raise.
Yeah,
And
it's very possible.
Okay, but
It's very
here's the thing.
possible.
So a small bet here is around 100 or 200, right? That's a small bet into a pot of 500.
No, I would even size it smaller
Okay.
because I really want ace high to call.
And 10.
Like I would even, yeah, I might even go like 60.
so at this point I'm saying,
Because if
okay,
you have a 10
there's
here, if you're trying to get a 10 to fold here, how much do you think a 10 is gonna fold? Maybe like 200, 220?
Yeah. But remember, two of the guys only have 160 and 220. That's the thing.
Yeah.
That's what I was asking is how do we size against their
well,
the fact
no,
that they
Asian
have,
lady's got 400.
Yeah, Asian lady's
Um,
folding quite a bit. I feel like.
so and again, this is busted up, broken down. I'm looking, I'm like, okay, with the size of this pot, I have 500 in my stack. Um, puts me at 1,000 stack, 500 on the high hand, and I'm racking up and leaving with a little bit of a profit today. I'm done. I'm over it. I'm a broken man.
who's got pocket queens? Penny? Is Penny the one with pocket queens?
300.
Yeah.
He
Penny's got pocket.
jams. I
Yeah.
snap call pocket queens.
Yeah, Penny's got pocket queens. Okay.
I literally she wasn't even they weren't even done pushing the pot. I picked up my $91 and said have a good night and went
Yeah.
and put it on black on the roulette table.
Yeah. Yep.
I mean,
And it was I wasn't even 3 steps from the poker table when I said I'm done for a while. I'll probably keep studying, but I'm not playing for a while.
Okay.
No bad beat at MGM in Detroit, by the way.
Yeah. So in this hand, if you go if you go small on the river and someone has a 10, a 10 or just their pocket pair. Remember, somebody can have pocket jacks here and pocket nines. Those can be there. So all of those hands, that's the biggest chance to get them to call, and all the queens raise. We assume that. Yeah. And yep. And this is one of the ones where if a queen raises, this is the one where you do put in the third bet. So if you bet 60 and they're deep enough and they raise to 300, you jam your quads and you're supposed to lose and you should lose all your money to pocket queens, and that's the right thing to do.
yep.
And I wasn't 3 steps from the table and I said, I've lost quads over quads twice this week. I'm done.
Yep.
I give up.
Okay.
I give up. I'm not playing again for a while.
Okay.
That's
I'm
gross.
sorry. I'm sorry. That's gross. And that is the grossness that we have all signed up to experience.
Yep.
Yep. But that doesn't make it any better. Okay. Is that the last hand? Of course that's the last hand. Rain or Sutton, if either of you have any hands that you want to show or talk about, feel free. Otherwise, we will move to somebody else, but you are cordially invited if you have anything.
I don't.
Okay.
but-
The hands that Sam put into the replayer that were in the chat. Did you guys do those this week already?
No, those all just went in like Wednesday night or
All
Tuesday
right.
night, something like
Sam,
that.
Sam, do you want to you want to do your hands in the replayer?
Sure, you good with them.
Okay. Was that a yes?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I'm not even sure if that was.
So
Are you on
thing
your
about
phone,
like
Sam?
Yeah, I'm on my phone.
Do
Okay,
you want someone else to pull them up?
I'll pull it up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, Scotty, you got it. All right.
Okay, here we go. Okay, we want to go to. We need the lovely Discord study sessions.
Come play at the Oaks.
Oh, cool. I'm gonna play. I am gonna play this week, by the way.
At the
You
Oaks?
playing live?
No,
You
I'm
playing
gonna play.
live?
I'm gonna play. I'm gonna play live this week. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll get some hands for you. Okay, here we go. This seems like the
It's
right
been
hand.
so long since I've seen your nicknames for live players. I've been missing it.
Yeah. Okay. Here we go. All right. Can you see? Can you see the board there, Sam?
Yeah.
I can see it. We can see
Okay.
it.
Yep.
All right. Here we go. Okay. So Sam's in the straddle in a 1-3-6 straddled game.
Is
He's
this a
got
1-3-6 or is it just a straddle on at 1-3?
Straddle.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
What do you
So
want to do?
so you got Jack 10 suited there. This is a high frequency 3 bet, and if it's not a mistake to call it, but it's a high frequency
No,
3.
not this one. This one we saw already.
Oh, you
This
did
is
this.
where I punted off the whole stack, right?
Okay. Okay, you've already seen that one. Okay. Oh, let me go back to then. I didn't realize
Go
it's
to the one that I posted like 2 days ago.
okay. I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna just go backwards in order. Here we go. I'll do your last one first, and then you'll tell me when we reach ones that are new. 6-7 suited in a 1-3 straight up game. So Sam open raises this 13, gets called in position, and does also get called out of position. Nope, heads up out of position. Flops straight draw, flush draw, combo draw. I'm going to assume that Sam is going to check this.
Yeah. What is his range? And
Uh,
what happens there?
right. So he
Check
checked
here
behind.
if he has a strong hand.
Yeah.
He's gonna bet big.
Yeah.
If
So
he
right
has
now,
showdown, he's gonna check.
right. So right now, his range after it goes check check, his range right now is a lot of overcards. Very
Okay.
very few pairs.
I'm check raising this hand, by the way, though.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, all the money will be in by on the turn if he does bet.
Okay.
Doesn't matter if it's a big bet or a small bet.
Right. Okay.
Okay. So
The ace is good for the range that he checks back. You check, he checks it. Okay. He's got a lot of king, queen, king 10 kinds of things. He might have something like sixes, but not likely.
Yeah, but that's not what I think in game though. I'm not thinking about this as a good card for his range. I'm more in line thinking of what happens if I bet here. If I bet here,
he calls with all of
he
his ace X.
yeah, he's gonna call with his ace X and his showdown value. So I probably
What does he do if you check?
yeah. What if he what? Yeah,
He
he's
bets
gonna
all
probably
he
bet
bets all
big.
his aces. He bets all his aces if you check.
Does he
Yeah.
think he bets a lot of Jack X? But he probably would have bet most of that on the flop. Does he start betting any like pocket sevens, pocket eights, stuff like
Yeah.
that?
So yeah, if he bets small,
We
we'll be
raise.
check raising. If he bets big, I don't know what I'm gonna do if he bets big. Because then we don't have fold equity.
Yep. So you have to you have a mandatory bluff on this river, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's extremely capped.
I mean, I think you have a couple of brick walls still.
Yeah, the only brick walls might be
There's the
like
nine.
a 9.
Yeah,
That's,
nine's the only brick wall, but we don't have to
yeah.
worry too much about that. But
Yeah,
we
but
can
then
make
he
everything
has
else fold.
yeah, he king high,
You
queen high, pocket 6, pocket 7s, pocket 8s,
in this line,
pockets.
you're very reputable to have a nine.
Yeah. So I just win like 2.5x pot.
Yep, I like it.
Does it have to be that big? Because most of what you're getting to fold is unpaired hands that are bigger than a 7. I think given how bad your hand is, I think you get to bluff smaller and profitably, more
Yeah,
profitably.
I don't want to bet like 30 and have him call me with a king high.
I would
So
just go
that's
60. I wouldn't go for any
45.
more than that.
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I,
Yeah.
I think you're sticking 30 out there that doesn't need to be there.
Mm, yeah. I mean,
Well, but we still
what?
want his pocket pairs to fold and his 5x to fold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't think they're going to, you
And
think they're going to for 45 or 50, 150% pot?
And
I
he could
mean,
still have some ace X here, right?
Yeah.
So he could still have some ace X, like weaker ace X here.
Yeah.
So I mean, the sizing is just to get his range to fold.
Okay.
And I don't think there's like much strong hand in his range at this point.
That's not what I meant to do. Sorry.
So it's how much to bet on the river to get what to fold. Like sometimes it's just a call that you got to make at the
Mhm.
like during
Yeah.
the hand. Like it could be wrong, it could be right.
Yeah.
He might fold. He might fold pocket like king high to like 20, or he might not fold to like 50. We don't know, but like that's just like I haven't played with this guy. I don't know him. He's fresh face, so I just went with the default big bet.
Okay. I suspect that big bet doesn't get an ace to fold. I suspect.
I don't know.
But
Probably
I don't
not.
know.
I'm
Yeah.
not sure.
I think it gets pocket tens and pocket jacks to fold. I mean, not jacks, but pocket tens, the pocket nines things to fold just a lot. Just a lot. Okay. Next hand is, and while we're putting up the next hand in the chat, everybody has played this hand the same. We all went check, 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 check. You were at the river, so I want to know what you want to do at a position on the river. Who is betting? What's the size? Who is checking and giving up? And who is checking and trying to do a check raise bluff to make it more convincing? What are you doing? Brian is betting 60. I'm betting 45. Sam is betting 105 because he did.
at
I'm sorry,
75.
75. 75. I correct. Sorry. Sam is 75 because he did. What do we got from anybody else? All right. Let's move to the next hand. And then if you're out there and you've got a number, put it in the chat, even if it's late. And we'll assume that's what it is. All right. Dean's betting pot. Dean's betting $30. So Dean, the one thought there is a pot size bet is enough to get the job done when the pot is bigger. When the pot is this small, you almost should be thinking not exactly. Don't think in terms of percent of pot, think in terms of absolute value because that's what your opponents are doing. And then for your own calls, think in terms of percentage of the pot because that's what really matters. So Rain's on 45. All right.
Oh, I remember this one.
So there
Shit.
you go. King Queen and the pain thereof.
There's no pain.
5x open. Call, call, call. Fold. All right, let's see what you do.
Hell no.
Okay, you're
Pretty
going to
bad.
squeeze.
Pretty bad.
Right. All right, the squeeze is
But by the way, the guy doesn't have 400. The guy who called me does not have 400. He probably has like 280 or thereabout.
okay. So this is a very, very small pot sweetener 3-bet.
Yeah, but they're all short.
Okay.
They're not 500. They're all short. Like none
Oh,
of
okay.
them has more than 300. That's why I
Okay.
sized down.
Okay.
It like
Okay.
I know we pay attention to sizing, but for me, it's not a hand strength thing. It's more like a stack size thing.
Okay.
Like I would squeeze here with my strongest hand to this sizing too.
Right. Okay. So the guy we're up against now, he has a 300. So he's got 240 left, basically.
He only has like maybe 220, 230, something like that.
220. Okay, so we're SPR of 1.3 ish, some number like that. All right.
And I misplay this hand. Um, I don't know. I thought that I'm just gonna get a fold, but yeah.
At this stack depth, we can. So jamming is not insane.
It's not.
I don't know if it's the best play, but it's not insane. It's a lot. You're jamming into the wind though, because you have no idea what his strength is from given that he checked here. This check is not indicative of strength or weakness out of
Yeah,
position.
so he has like his range, like if I have to assign it to a normal person,
Yeah.
it's probably a bunch of broadways. He probably does not have ace king. Ace king probably just rejam pre-flop.
Mm-hmm.
Hands like ace jack, ace queen,
Pocket eights.
pocket jacks, pocket eights,
Sure. Yeah.
pocket, bunch of pocket pairs, ace high, Broadway, and maybe like king queen suited,
If
something like that.
if he's not thinking very deeply, Jack 10 suited, Jack Queen suited, or also
Yeah,
if
yeah.
he's
I
not
think I could bet.
yeah.
I think I could put out a small bet here on the flop, but then in game I'm like, do I really want to? This hand has enough equity to put out a bet and just get jammed on by ace jack or some shit like that.
You mean
So I don't know. In game
enough
I did.
equity to get when you say enough equity to get jammed on, you mean and call?
No, I mean this hand has good equity because it's like two overs and a gutter.
Yeah.
And in my mind, I'm like, if he has ace queen, I could probably get him to fold later. But I don't know.
Yeah, but given the stack depth, if you're gonna get him fold later, that means you're going to bet again.
Yeah, jam.
Yeah,
Yeah, like I thought if he has ace queen, I might be able to like just jam him off on the turn if he checks again.
okay, right. I see what you mean. So, but not
Yeah.
you weren't thinking of betting here. Like I'll bet, and if he calls, then I'll try to jam him off the ace queen that called. Because if he calls there,
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, I thought if I bet here, I don't have. If he calls, I don't have any. Like
you don't have enough to jam to
I
get
don't
him.
have enough to get him to fold anything.
Right.
Like
Okay.
because the first bet would be what, like 35, 40.
Okay. So
Yeah,
now
I'm
I
probably
think
gonna bet 50, and then he only has like 180 left. Is
yeah,
he really gonna fold?
yeah. I think now you've got license. After it goes check on after he checks the turn, I think you have license to bet if you want to.
Yeah, and I did think about it. Like I thought about it for quite a bit on the flop, and then I thought about it quite a bit on the turn. I'm like,
Right.
God damn it! I should have just like probably just jammed the turn and get him off of ace queen and I don't know, like pocket eights. Yeah, but I chickened out.
Right. So you check again.
Yeah,
He's got a lot of hands that beat you right now
yeah, a
because
lot of a
there's
lot of
limited.
ace high
You got a lot of ace high, a little bit of
pairs.
pairs, and he doesn't have king 10
Yeah.
very often.
Before you say that, just wait
Very
till the
often.
river.
Doesn't have king 10 very often. He
And
checks.
then now he checks again. Now I'm like, it's a pair board. I don't think if I bet here, he's gonna fold ace high. Like let's say I have pocket tens here, I would just ship it all in
Hmm.
because I don't think ace high is gonna fold.
Right. So you check.
So therefore, I check,
My God.
and he has this shit.
Oh my
And that
God.
tells you how good live poker is, because they're not bluffing. He let me off the hook, brother.
Oh my God. So much worse. So much bad play by people other than you. Wow.
I know.
Yeah.
And you say he didn't have King 10.
Yeah. They did. He did have.
Shit.
Yeah. All right.
Get the fuck out of here.
Shocking. All right. Here we go. We got King Jack. So
Oh,
now
for this
go back-
for
now,
this hand, you need to go back to watch the two previous hand
Okay.
that I was not in and I saw.
Okay, sounds good.
That-
So on this one, everybody else, what we're on the flop. Let's see, either type it or say it. What you want to do here with King Queen on the flop here. And everybody has a stack of everybody's stack is here at about 300
I don't mind a
On the
small
flop or
C bet on the
pre-flop?
flop.
on the. Sorry, pre-flop.
Oh, pre-flop.
Yeah, Brian's three betting.
I like the squeeze.
Okay.
I'd have gone to probably 75 though.
Okay. Yeah. If I squeeze, I'm squeezing bigger, even with their depth. But okay. So, and then a quick look. Let's
We just looked at Dean. This is not the
Yeah, it's gonna be
the
the
next hand where
we're
we
just
need
doing-
the history
Right.
first.
Okay. So his open size is 5x, which is the standard for the game, but it does matter for our purposes. He's opening from. He's one before the low jack, so we're going to do this in the low jack and two calls. So it's just going to go like that. All right. So this is our world. Low jack raises, high jack calls, cutoff calls. So I'm wrong. That's nice to know. I was insta folding the king queen, and it's optional. And this GTO size is 6. Yeah, this is going 15. This is going relative to your 15. So 4 and 1. Okay. Yeah. So he's going to set. So he's going 75. You went 65, and they were small, and they did have what would be 100. They had less than 100 because this would be the size if this was a 2-5 game. So pretend the blinds are 2-5 here to get these sizings, and so they're less than 100 big blinds. All right. So let's see. Bub is calling.
Yeah, after seeing this, it's not
Yeah.
a good idea. But I personally would just like to have a suited hand here
Mhm.
because it can go potentially multi-way, and I think that's a good reason to
Yep.
use suited hands.
And I think a very good rule of thumb to have in mind is the simplification the solver does, that there is no fourth call anywhere except for the big blind. Once two people have called, you kind of look at your hand and say, if this hand is not good enough to be raising, I shouldn't be playing it multi-way. I shouldn't be playing against these ranges.
Okay, yeah.
Right. So
Don't do that
that is a simplification that most solvers have, that there's no situation where after two call that anybody ever gets to put in the fourth call. There's only a third
Okay.
call.
Yeah, but I would adjust away from that, and then I would call hands like King 9 suited, and then the Ace X suited,
Right.
and then like the bunch of like pairs.
So let's say cutoff would fold here. Is at least then my idea good?
Yeah, if cutoff folds, you have
King Queen offsuit.
hates it. It hates is a thing, but now you have the calls.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
On the button and you can see what they are. They're the hands that don't surprise you. So Sam, you like the queen, you like the King 9 suited here you like here.
Well, in my hand, like when I'm on the button, I would call with those hands.
Yeah, that's
like
what I'm saying.
The Ace X suited, and then like the King 9 suited. kind of thing.
Right. I'm on board with, I don't know that I would do it, but I see very good reasons to do the ace X suiteds and the pairs there for their cooler value. As the pot gets more and more multi-way, I start to hate these suited kings more and more.
Oh no, I'm not calling like I'm not gonna be calling like King 5.
No, but you got king nine.
Like
I'm saying your king nine.
King 9, King
Yeah,
10, like
yeah,
in that range.
yeah,
I'm not gonna go crazy.
yeah. And I'd like to sort of model my thought process there close to this. So don't
Yeah.
I don't love the call of the call of the kings here. These Broadway ones, making Broadway gets better and your kicker starts to be decent and hitting it as a pair starts to be decent. So that's me. You don't have to play like me. Okay.
And I should
Let me.
advise you should 3-bet more because they're opening too much shit. And they're not 4-betting and they're
They
calling
opened
with shit hands.
they opened King 8 and then checked it
So,
down. So
and it's printing.
I cannot deny your observation based on this hand. All right, let's look at the previous ones here. They are.
Look at the first one.
Yeah, you guys are in the way of the first one, you bastards. There we are. Okay. So I want to look at these two. I want to look at this one and then
Does it say there's a trappy dum dum? Yeah, trappy dum dum.
yep, here we go. Trappy dum dum. All right. So we get a limp from the low jack, a limp from the high jack, a squeeze from the button, whose theoretical size is 9, 12, 15, 16, whose theoretical size is slightly small, but not egregiously so, and who in this game, this probably will not accomplish what he wants, since in this game, the standard open size is to 15. So if these guys are willing to put in 3, they're going to be willing to put in 15. So this is not going to thin the field. This 15 is not going to thin the field, even though it's a 5x, I believe. That's my expectation from having played 1-3. All right. We're not in the hand. Call. Yep, that's what we expected. So what he has done is he has succeeded in inflating the pot, which is a thing if you have the best hand. But not thinning the field. All right. King Jack 7 rainbow. Checky. This guy checks behind. So his range feels now ace 10, ace queen, pocket 10s kinds of hands, maybe ace jack, depending on how he plays. Doesn't feel like this guy has a lot of king, and we have very little information about these guys because they could have checked range. Would you read anything to his sizing? You're talking about the sizing now, Bub, on this hand.
No, the pre-flop sizing.
Right, the pre-flop
Four
sizing, right.
button.
I would I wouldn't do it until I saw that he had a different size on different hands. I would suspect that like if his opening size is to 15 and then I see that his squeeze size is to 15, then I would think this is not a good player who just thinks that when you open to 15 and it doesn't matter how many people are ahead of you. I'd want to see if he's doing it different with a different number of people and things like that. And if he's been doing 20, 20, 20 and drops down to 15, then I'm going to think aces or kings or weak, and I don't know which end it is until I see how trappy he is. All right. Ace comes. Check. Now let's see what he does here, because all of his Broadway range now is good. So he bets half pot gets a call. His range looks to me now like a lot of ace queen, ace 10, some ace 5 suited, not much queen 10 suited, and some ace jack. That's what I see him on, that kind of hand. This call feels like ace X draws, ace X combo draws.
Pair plus gutter.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah, pair plus gutter, no pair and not pair plus flush draw, except Jack 10 of clubs could certainly be in there, some hand like that. So that's what this hand feels like to me. All right. And the fold feels like, who cares? 3 of spades comes. He checks. I want to bet my better aces and not my worst aces. I could bet ace 10 here. I could bet ace 10 here. Maybe ace 9, not ace 8 when I have it in the suited side. That's me. Check back all the kings. Any bluffs here? No, because the bluffs consisted of clubs, and that's what I want him to have. So I just don't have any bluffs here. Check, check. Set of jacks. Trappy, trappy, trappy. And,
Dum.
and we never get to find out what this guy had. He just set of
No.
jacks. And so he makes the minimum, and we now need to be careful, and we now need to know that he does this. Okay, good. Then we see him do it again on the next hand, which is, so if we are him, now let's not be dum-dums. If we are him, how do we want to play this hand? We want to open instead of limp. That's our first thing we want to do. All right. When we flop a set having opened, we can just go bet, bet, bet.
Or check raise.
We can check raise. We can check raise if we need to. And if for some reason, some bizarre reason, we're on this line, we go for check raise, we don't get it. Now we bet.
Or at least check raise the turn.
Yeah, we definitely check raise the turn. Now, does the other guy have are there any queen 10s out there in the world? Yes, queen 10 exists as a hand. Check raise anyway. And then bet the river.
Yeah.
Yeah. Check raise anyway. Or bet. Bet out and get called by an ace. Get out and get called by a flush draw. And like that. Do bet, bet. Okay. So that's how I think I want to play it. But I just don't want to be there with a limp anyway. So
It's okay. We won't be. That's why we're here.
yeah, I'm okay with that. Okay. All right. Then the next hand happens. Same guy.
Is he
TDD.
super trappy or is he just super passive? Like, did he look frustrated
No.
frustrated that there was no bet on the river?
He's just trappy dum.
Right. He's TDD.
Okay.
He's TDD.
He's
All right. So
trappy
TDD.
dum.
So TDD limps again with hands as good as Jack Jack. That's important to know. We have ace 8 suited. We can ISO. We can call behind with a suited ace. That both are good. I don't want to fold. I don't want to fold.
I'm
So-
not limping.
All right, then let's ISO.
He's limping a good enough. It's not just Jack. So
Yeah, no, of course not. Yeah, let's ISO to anywhere from 12. Anywhere from in this game, anywhere from 12 to 18, 15. Great. We get called in 2 places. Let's flop something. We did.
We flop a little something.
Ace 8, multi-way here. I could easily be convinced to check this and bet turn and river on the idea that when called, this is a 2-street hand. So I don't need to take it now. I can
Yeah.
also, if I bet now, I can go bet, check, bet. We'll see if a heart comes. So you take the check line.
you know me. I'm checking out of position, deep stack.
Out of
with my
position.
range.
Okay, so you're doing range here. Okay, I wasn't sure if you were
Yeah.
doing that in a multi. I assumed if you were heads up, you were going to do it. I didn't know if you were going to do it against him. So checks around, great. Queen comes. That's terrible. He
Yeah.
checks.
He did tank check.
Tank check.
So during the game, my observation was he tanked check. So there's a debate in his mind about betting.
All right. I like a check here against this guy.
Yeah,
You bet?
but I didn't.
You bet.
I-
You
yeah, I
bet
feel
small.
like
You bet.
yeah,
You bet in the pot. Okay.
yeah, I bet kind of small. I mean, flush draws could call.
So yeah, no flush draw is going to fold here, and a king jack or king 10 might not. There we go. He calls. Check, check.
Yeah, that's just no reason to bet here now because
No
like
reason to bet here at all.
straight draw gets there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like just trying to get him to fold out an ace. Because I think if he had an ace, we're just chopping a lot. It's not worth the money to risk when we go up against his like a queen or like
Yeah.
a flush or a straight.
Right. Now,
So
I don't want to do this, but do you want to consider underbetting, like less than half pot here, to get called by
yeah, by what though?
by a stupid pair?
Yeah, you have
By
to
a
bet
bad
King
really, really.
10.
You could,
Right.
you
That's what I'm asking.
could,
I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. I want
yeah,
to. I want to check behind.
could, you
Yeah.
could.
I mean betting. I mean betting 20 or 30 here to get called by
King Jack. King
King,
10.
King Jack. His bizarrely played Jack Jack that we know that he has in range. His
Yeah,
completely whacked off pocket sixes.
yeah,
A number like that. Do we
and
want to reopen it for that and then fold to all raises? I
yeah,
don't want.
and just because he was trappy, I decided not to. Uh, I decided not to because I saw the hands previously.
Yeah, I certainly don't want to.
Yeah, so I check. He has Queen Jack.
Yep.
So Dum Dum doesn't.
He gets $25 from you.
Yeah, he doesn't even bet the river. Like
Right. Now
so,
played
we
differently when this queen comes, there was a possibility of checking the turn.
yeah, you could check the turn, but
Right.
I feel like
Check the turn. Yeah, I just say
probably
you
enough.
check the turn. If you check the turn and this king comes and he checks to you,
He's not gonna bet. Like he's not gonna bet, and then I can't bet because the guy behind me.
right? I think you don't bet.
No.
Yeah. Okay. And if he bets out here, the pot is 50 in this thing, and if he bets less than $50 on the river, do we call?
I don't know. I don't really. Um, I might. I mean, you're gonna see the next hand. I'm gonna call.
Right. So that's my question on this one. Anybody else out there? From the one trap we've seen, if we choose the check line on the turn, which is a reasonable line, and the river we get bet into, and he bets 40 into 50. He bets 40 here. Who's folding? Who's calling?
Kind of depends.
I'm
It could be a
calling.
lot weaker when he's betting out into you. If
Yeah,
he's
I'm
just
just saying.
super trappy.
Yeah, we don't know. We don't know. But what are you? What just we have the information of the previous hand and the way this one goes. What are you doing?
If he tank checks the turn, I'd consider folding, but I'd probably end up calling one time if it's less than 50.
I'm
If
calling
he
up
goes over 50, I'm folding.
50, folding over. That's what I'm doing. Yep, that's me. My over under is right at 50. Okay. And it's a little clunky because player 9 is still in there, but I think I'm calling. With an ace whose kicker doesn't matter. Because I chop with well, that is the thing. You're all call. I'm going to reconsider this call. Calling for a chop against other aces. Yeah, I'm still calling to one bet. I'm calling.
Yeah,
I'm calling.
I think that you're not even calling for a chop here. If he
What do you
does
mean?
bet, yeah, it feels like so. This guy's a trapper, right? I mean, if he has a hand like Ace X, King X, he might bet it. Sometimes you will win against his King X.
Yeah, that's why I called was that I beat King X.
And
King X betting.
it's unlikely that he bets like a flush or Queen X. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm on the wrong track here, but I feel like
We don't
it's
we
we
don't
should call.
Yeah. We don't know that trappy people are trappy in all situations on all lines. We don't know that they stay trappy on check, 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 or that this guy did. We don't know that. But I don't think I'm folding to one bet with top pair where I'm not outkicked. That's the thing. I'm not losing. If I have an ace here, I'm not losing against another ace because he has ace king here almost never. And ace queen is not an ace, it's a queen. Okay. So now we get to the next hand.
That's not true if he's if he's limping all those strong hands. He still has strong hands,
Yeah.
stronger aces.
Yeah. He can still have no, I said he can still have ace king, but there isn't a lot of ace king. He has to choose to play it this way. Because remember, we saw him do it with jacks. We don't know, has he never raised a hand? Does he only limp? We don't have that information yet.
No, he has not raised.
Okay, well then, there you go. All right, now we got king jack. Let's open. We open to our 13. We get called on the button. We get called in the small blind. Here we go. And is TDD in this hand? Or is this the wrong hand?
Yeah, small blind. I probably didn't
Okay.
write it.
Oh, okay, that's fine. So TDD is in the small blind. All right. Here we go. We flop. It's ace 10-5. We flop a gutter. We have no back door. He checks to us. This is multi-way. We are going to check. We check. It checks around. The 10 pairs.
Beautiful.
He bets. All right. Now, if we want to overread into how he played, he doesn't have an ace or a 10. If you want to overread it, unless he's changed his stripes.
At least he doesn't have a 10, right? An ace could still be a thing. Right?
So it's a tiger in his stripes problem, which is he loved trapping even on the wet boards. Okay.
From only information that we technically have is that he traps 3 of a kind.
Yes, that's what.
That's
Yeah, that's
true.
what
You're
Bub's
right.
saying, is that we technically only
You're
know that he
right.
traps 3 of a kind. So
You're right, I'm wrong.
So we don't know that he's trapping with aces or anything.
No, we don't. You're absolutely right. He may only be trapping the very top. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So he bets there. We call with our gutter. River is a 9. He bets again.
$55. I think we can blast him.
Do you want to blast a trapper though by saying that he doesn't trap this way? Let's find out what Sam does. I think I just fold here. That's me.
Yeah.
I mean, with the information we have, you would think that this is a decent spot to blast. It's just we just don't know his tendencies with folding either. Like we don't know if he's capable of folding an ace.
Yeah. And I'd like to find it out with someone else's money by watching somebody else do it rather than myself. All right. There's the call.
I mean, if I have 6, 7, blast, but I don't need to blast it.
Yeah.
I have showdown.
Mm-hmm. So played the draw aggressively in the fact that he bets, and his sizing is basically half pot plus on the flop. He goes under half. Turn, he goes half plus. I'm sorry, river. Yeah, so it's the turn and he does it. Okay. That must have felt great.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Okay, so walk through your thought process on this hand, starting at the flop, Sam, because I narrated as Sam, so you be Sam this time.
No, it's on the flop. I'm just checking range.
Right, so you check range on the
because
flop.
the guy called back.
Right, then he bets 25. What's your thought process here?
I mean, he didn't bet a queen. He didn't bet a set on turn multi-way. That takes away a lot of his value. Like, people just don't change. They play the way they play.
Right.
So I don't. I suspect this is just all draws. And I told myself if all come in on the river and if he doesn't bet, I'm not gonna bet.
Right.
I just thought I had enough showdown.
Okay.
And
So you call.
it
Right.
was,
So,
it was a very simple thought based on what we observed.
right. So you call here because this is out of character and you have the gut shot. You wouldn't do this with King 9 suited here, right? It's King 9 of hearts. You wouldn't make the turn call. Would you make the turn call with just a queen? I mean, with just a king and no gut shot? You're cutting out too much.
I'm calling.
Okay. So
I
was
say
that
any king
okay? So you don't need the gut shot here to call given his line from previous.
no, we have
Okay.
showdown.
All right. You're calling the king showdown. Okay. Obviously you are, because you called it down. Okay. Those are the Sam hands. Anybody else got hands? I think that's all of Sam's hands. Was there another one we were going to do? Let's see. All right. Yeah. So I think I'm playing this the worst way when I get here. I think that I would consider calling the turn. I would consider folding the turn, and I would fold the river. I would not have made the river call. And so I would have lost this hand. All right.
I think this is the one we already saw.
Okay. Oh, this king queen you guys have already seen?
Yeah, we did those on Tuesday, I believe.
Okay, sounds good. All right. You got anything, Brian?
Yeah, I have some.
All right, let's do Brian. I will stop steering.
This one weird. Let me put it up. Okay. You see it?
Yep, I can see it.
Yep. All right. This is actually a light ISO. I mean, this is just messed up. He's in.
Right.
But I'm getting a lot of folds.
Mhm.
So I'm just ISOing and people are folding a lot to me, and I'm able to get heads up a lot and win. So I am ISOing a little bit wider, and we end up getting two calls in this spot. Not ideal. We don't know much about him. After the hand, I'll tell you why I question this hand. So we flop king, and I think the board is somewhat likely to be stabbed, but oh well, I mean, I'm out of position. I'm
You're-
in position. Never mind. I thought it was a button, but it was I'm pretty sure I was. Yeah, I was in
So I would say
position.
this board is very, very likely to be stabbed by you.
Well, it checks. Yeah, it checks to me. I bet 25 here. Um, I kind of think this is still kind of a I'm in position, let's get them to raise off their strong stuff type of spot. I have a pretty solid hand, and then I can evaluate the turn and see what I want to do in certain situations. But so I'm just gonna go 25 here. And we get one call. So then the flush completes here. And I thought that his range here often was King X, 8X, 9X, other pocket pairs, flush draws, straight draws. This completes 6, 7, club draws, all that stuff. But he checks to me. And here I'm gonna do a small bet to recap him to
Okay.
try and get him to raise off his flushes and his straights and things like that. So I go pretty small, at least at 45. He just calls. And I kind of do this. This is a bet to try and get them to raise off, but there is a situation where they still somewhat slow play here. So my plan here is that when he raises, I'm pretty much just folding with no more equity to make a
Yeah.
better hand. This is just often a flush, and if it's not good for him. But so I think this is just often I'm gonna fold here, and then whenever this is the plan here is basically when he just calls, if he donks the turn to a big size, I always fold. like 100% of the time, or the river. If he just donks the river, I'm folding
Right.
because that's just super underbluffed and very likely to be a flush.
Mhm.
And whenever he checks the turn, I'm going to continue to bet for value, and I'm going to assume that a lot of his range here is King X that I have beat, that I'm ahead of. So I'm going to go somewhat big on the river.
Okay.
Try and get caught off by that, but not huge because a lot of them are probably going to be more inelastic with the club draw in and me betting all three streets.
Mhm.
So that's the plan going into it.
Right.
And then the board pairs and he jams the river. So I snap fold here. Like I didn't even think about it. I threw my cards in the muck right away. And the only reason I question this decision is because later on I don't have the hand with me. I wish I was paying a little bit more attention during the hand, but I saw him trap a full house prior where he just went like he checked it on the river from out of position, and it made me think that possibly this is some sort of bluff, but I'm trying to think like what
Go back.
what
Roll back before he bets the 160. I just want to see how the replayer works here. Okay, so he's betting 75% for his jam. Okay, go
yeah.
on.
And yeah, he jams, and I snap fold. I didn't even think about it because I already knew my plan going in is that when he donks this river, especially when he donk jams, I'm just folding everything because it's very likely to be a flush. And even in this situation, if he for I don't think he donk jams an eight here, unless it was two pair that like maybe he picked up something like 8-5 on the turn and didn't raise it because the flush came in, and then or like a set of fives that doesn't raise there because the flush came in, and then when the board pairs he jams. I just think I'm just beat here like every time, but I just questioned myself because later on, like I said, there was the hand where he just super trappy played. He flopped a boat and just like didn't raise it off once. Was just calling, and then checked it on the river and it checked through. And he was like, "Oh man, it went all the way through." I was expecting someone to raise there, so I'm kind of like in between. I don't know the player. I don't know anything about him. I've seen it played with him one time.
So in the hand that you saw went check, 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 and then he got or check, 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 check. Right? Nobody betted any. It's not that he just didn't
No,
raise.
they were
Nobody's.
betting into him. They were
Oh,
betting
so
into
did
him,
he?
and he was just calling. And then on the river,
Okay.
he continued to just check, and then it checked through on the river, and he flipped over his full house. And they're like, "Oh, you were trapping." I think I went to the bathroom partway through the hand, so I didn't see the whole thing. I saw the show. I saw most of it, and they were like, and the guy was like, "Oh, I was betting into him. He didn't raise into me once after when he flopped a boat."
Right. So
Yeah, but was he out of position? Was he in
He was
position?
way out of
Context.
position. In that hand, he was small blind. This was the other player, and there's another player here. So he was way out of position. He flopped a boat. I think he had pocket queens, and it came like queen jack jack, and or queen king king or something like that. And he checked. I think this guy bet. This guy called. He called, and then he checked again. This guy bet, and then on the river he checked again, and it checked all the way through.
Yeah,
And he
but
flipped over his boat.
but then you didn't see the sizing, right? You,
Yes, that's true.
yeah.
yeah, so it could be a totally different thing. It might be the guy went bet twice big, so that's why
Yeah,
he doesn't
Yeah.
donk. But here you use a small size. You just never know. But I would just default to when I
this
went
is just a
bet,
fold.
and
Yeah.
then he bets all in. Yeah, I would doubt that it's a bluff. Like,
That's kind of what was going through my head is that it's basically I gave him zero rope and he's now jamming into me on a card, a nut changing card, but also, I mean, this is just I thought it was completely underbluffed and very unlikely. I didn't see his hand, obviously. I don't know what he had, but I
I
had like a
mean,
two
you
second, it was like snap
yeah.
fold
His,
instantly. He was
his,
like, "Oh, you were bluffing." I was like, "No, I wasn't bluffing. You're just not bluffing."
yeah. His river bet with value makes sense even for a somewhat trappy player. Maybe not a super trappy player, somewhat, because you can check behind a lot of king on this river that will call.
I mean, I would bet it, but
Yeah, but I mean you can, and people
yeah.
and people do. You know, the flush comes in, and then the eight comes in, and they look at their king, and they don't do it. If you have ace eight, I'm not folding ace eight here.
Uh,
I'm not folding trips here.
Dude,
But trips
that's
is
my other
part.
question. That was
Trips
the other
is
thing I
part of
was thinking
value.
about. I was like, what do I call here? And ace eight is questionable.
What are you
Like, what
talking
is he
about?
I
when
call it.
when he jams here? I mean, I went bet. I went bet on the flop, bet on the flush card, and then now he jams the river. I don't think that's a ton of eights or just eights. It's like,
First of all, you
But
don't
it
have
doesn't
any
have to be a ton of.
eights.
It doesn't have to be a ton of eights. It has to be 50% eights and 50% flushes for ace eight to be a good call.
Yeah, you don't have eights here. You bet the turn. You're not betting the turn with
Yeah,
an eight.
it can be.
yeah,
It
that's
can
true.
be. It can be
Yeah.
30 in this configuration. I'm almost right. I'm right about this, right? He can have twice as many flushes as eights, and an ace eight is still a good call because you're getting more than 2 to 1 on your money.
Is
It's
it a good
not.
call though? But it's not a good call when we're sitting here thinking that he just is never doing it with an eight.
No, then
Like if
it's
Yeah.
a
it's
bad call.
never worse than eight, then it's a bad call
No, if
because
it's if
I
if
think it's
it's
very unlikely that he does this with anything with an eight with just an eight
right, that's no. In that case, then the ace eight is a bad call. I don't
because
agree with that.
I mean look when we give them no rope and continue on like they as even players like even an aggressive player. Like if they turn for whatever reason, say he floats with fives, catches a set of fives here, and I continue to bet, they're still unlikely to raise, I think, a lot of the time with that set of fives on the turn when you continue to bet on the flush card.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So I just think that this is just so what they're gonna pick up again their eight on the turn on the river, and now they're just gonna jam it. I mean, I think a lot of time they're just gonna go into check call mode.
I'll tell you what you call with, because you would take this sizing with a small sizing with a flush on the
Yeah,
turn. You have pocket kings, you
yeah.
have king nine suited, you have eight nine suited, you have pocket eights, pocket nines. You plenty of fucking hands to call, and you have pocket five yourself too. So I wouldn't even worry about it. It's like
Yeah, I would say that I think I'm calling I don't personally with
I
I know that you guys think some of the reads are a little bit ridiculous, but they're usually correct that a lot of these players just aren't like they don't bet thinly enough for value and they're usually generally passive. So when they're showing like major signs of aggression, it's like mm, you're very unlikely to be good in those situations with a trips on a board that has a flush on it and a straight on it
Okay.
is what
Um,
I would think. That's
so,
my personal thought there.
okay, so here's an alternative line for this hand, um, which is on the turn, check, check, with the intent to bluff catch the river depending on size and card.
Yeah,
So now the
that's
pot,
true.
so now the pot's 110. We go check, check. We've given him plenty of rope for a bluff on the eight.
If he goes less than 100, I'll call.
Okay.
If he goes, no, it's 110. It's 110. No,
Thought
no, no.
was, yeah.
If he goes less than 50 or he goes 50 or less, I'm calling.
Okay. I'm
If he
calling,
goes, yeah,
yeah, what am I calling up to? So so go back. The pot is
it's
110,
110.
right? And he's got 205 left, so 110. I'm calling 80 for sure. I'm calling 80 into 110 for sure. Um, I'm going to start thinking at, I'm going to start thinking from 90 to 110. That's where I'm going to think. 90 to
Okay.
120. And then above 120, then I'm going to just stew and feel like shit.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, I think this is very I think it's the right fold, but I was also just questioning. I didn't see the whole hand, so I don't
Right.
know. But I just saw that other hand earlier where he was
Right.
very trappy with his super strong hand, which made me
Yeah. So now one thing on
question
that line.
this.
Yeah, one thing on that line, going back, when you bet the turn, when you bet the turn and you say, I'm doing it to recap him,
Hmm.
what is the value of getting that information of him being recapped?
Is it now I'm gonna continue to bet for a value on the river and target, I'm gonna go pretty small for a value on the river here and get an extra probably $60 out of his weaker kings. Maybe I can get a 9x to
Okay.
call or
Right.
8x to call when it doesn't pair.
Right. So if he raises you here, you fold. You
Yep.
throw in 45 and you fold. Okay. If he checks if he calls you, you see with the river comes, whatever it is. If he donks small on the river,
A call.
you call. Okay.
Small, maybe
If,
I read. I don't know if I really
right.
want to start raising when he donks small, but I know I'm calling to
Yeah.
a small
Yeah. Well,
donk.
because well, you were calling up to half pot. You were calling up to half pot. The question was, were you raising a tiny thing? And so if you're not going to
hmm
raise the river, and if he checks to you, what size were you betting on the river if you had done a check line?
If I went check and it's 110 and he checks to me,
Yeah.
I think he just doesn't have a lot of very strong hands.
Hmm.
When it goes check, he doesn't lead. I think that removes a lot of his bluffs and a lot of his 8x if it goes check on the river.
Hmm.
So I think we just have a lot of king X, 9x, maybe even like pocket tens that played weird pre-flop, pocket jacks, stuff like that. Um, I'm gonna target those hands. Of his, yeah, we're gonna go. So pot's 110. We're probably gonna bet. If I needed to make jacks fold, I would bet. I would think that if I get check two, I can jam every river with air to make everything fold.
Hmm.
So for value, I wouldn't want to go that big. I would want to go something like I'd probably go like 60, 70 on the river.
Okay. In that case, here's what I'm going to pitch to you. Okay. So when we bet the turn line and he checks to us on the river, it goes 45, and then you needed to bet very small. You were betting quite small on the river. Um, on this 45, you were going to bet how much? Pot's 200. You were going to bet
He's
how
got
much?
160
Or were you checking
behind.
behind when the eight? Or were you checking behind when the eight paired? No, you were going to bet your king
I
pair.
would, if he doesn't lead on the eight, I mean, I think that he leads an eight for a smaller size than jamming it sometimes, or maybe he just checks it. And I would bet this similar amount probably. Like, what is the stuff that he would, what are we targeting here? I mean, he's got
You're targeting a nine. You're targeting a worse king.
a worse king and a nine. Let's go. I think that some those hands are going to become pretty elastic with the flush being made as well. Um, so we're gonna go probably about 75,
Okay.
like 75, yeah, 60 to 75-ish in that area again, yeah.
Okay. So yeah, so there's real merit in given that there's real merit in betting the turn, because you're only going to make $60 on the check line, and this one you're going to make 120. The the difference is that you get a really really nice bluff catch situation
It's
from
true.
bet the flop, check the turn, bluff catch the river.
And maybe go even smaller because in this game, like on the turn, maybe go even smaller than 45 because technically this is a somewhat significant size I to these people.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
like they're so maybe go. I mean, I just don't want to go. Because what did I do on the flop? I bet 25. I can't really go much smaller. I mean, I can go smaller than that. I could go 30 here
Mhm.
and really try to get him to raise off his stuff, or I can just check. And when I check, I open up, I give him a good chance to bluff. I just don't think that they're like when they bluff, they usually just don't bluff for a big size.
Right.
So I lose a lot of money by bluff catching a lot of the time. I also lose less money when they do their little weird
Mhm.
donk jam the river than I do in that situation. I mean,
Right.
I don't know, it's an interesting idea. I think that, yeah, sometimes I own myself sometimes, and sometimes I get max value. Okay, yeah, enough of that
Right.
one.
And the place where I moved, my thought process, don't I'm not saying it's better, of where I moved into bet check bluff catch was because the flush came in.
Yeah,
And you went to the line of I want to find out if you have the flush, and I go, I'll find out on the river. You want to find out on the turn. That was where that went. Don't know which one.
Yeah, I mean, because when he calls, I think a lot of his range is what, probably three parts mostly here. Um, well, I mean, yeah, there's probably a lot of eight. There's single pair hands that will call this one time, right?
Mhm.
And then they are gonna call one time. So we got kings, nines, eights, pocket tens, maybe some pocket like that type of stuff. So then when we get to this turn, and then there's obviously all the flush draws and the straight draws, and then one of the straight draws gets there and the flush draw gets there. So, but those are two parts, and we also have the king X that's still here. So when we bet small here, I think we're able to keep in some. I think we're still gonna get. I think a lot of the tens and nine X and stuff like that honestly fold. So I think by the river, when he just calls and then checks again, we're basically only targeting a weaker king in that situation. I would think, because I think a lot of the 8x might start to fold out here, and 9x might start to fold out here when the flush completes, and they got second pair, all that. So I think we're really at this point only targeting a king when check two on the river.
Right.
Yeah, I think that's probably the way to go.
Right. And the king that we beat that we expect that he has in his range is mostly king 10. King
Yeah, that's
9,
true.
he has them beat us. King queen and king and ace king, which he rarely has, we think, but king queen they have often beats us. So it's got to be all the way down. The king that we beat is the king 10, then all the way down to king 7.
That's also
And
assuming, like, we
so
also know that their ranges consist of much more. Like, there's still king five that we beat, king six that we beat, king seven that we beat, all of that junk that they still have
we do
a
beat
lot
king,
of the time.
we do beat king 5 now. Okay.
Yes.
All
So,
right.
yeah.
Looks good.
This one. This is a weird feel play. So this guy, he folds to aggression. He is terrified of monsters under the bed. He's sitting right next to me. I've watched him fold some pretty big hands over and over again to this one guy who I was calling down with anything because the guy just blasts off with
Right.
bullshit. So I was just like, this guy is carte blanche. Like, I can just absolutely blast this guy off of
Yeah.
hands, is basically what's going through my head. Um, So I ISO four. I want to play against him because
Mhm.
he will call, and he will fold by the river, and he will fold very strong hands on the river.
Great.
So he calls. This is the flop.
All right.
He checks. I bet my half pot from in position, still
Mhm.
trying to get him to raise off. He calls. So now I think his range consists of flush draws, king X, 7x, threes. I think the other thing I will say is that he does play a more face-up pre-flop strategy where he's going to open a lot of his like king queen, his ace king, king jack, king 10, all that type of stuff. So a lot of the time here he's not going to have any strong kings in this
Yep.
situation when he has kings, except for the king 7 that you could have cut two pair with that I think he's going to raise off often because he will play those hands aggressively enough.
And
So,
he's got plenty of eights and nines that he
yep,
pocket eights, pocket nines that he would have limp called with.
yep. So here,
Is he
so
limping
now,
tens? Is he limping tens and jacks?
no, no,
Okay.
he's gonna open those.
Okay.
He will open his top of range hands.
Okay.
So his suited broadways, his offsuit broadways, his pocket pairs is probably nines plus, I would say.
So here's your
So
line. Here you do need to recap him.
yes,
Yes.
here I want him to.
Given your plan.
Yes. And so a lot of the time in this situation, it's not a terrible idea to do like with showdown, go check, bet, check, bluff, catch, river. But here, I think I can make him fold basically everything a lot of the time, except for like his ace high flush and, except for the nuts basically is what's going to happen. So, um, he checks to me again. So I go technically slightly bigger, but the pot's not large. So I'm still a small bet, still trying to get him to raise off his flushes.
Yep.
And he's a very like you can look at him and kind of tell where he's at in the hand. He doesn't look thrilled making this call, and I'm watching that happen. So I'm sitting here basically with the plan that I am gonna jam the river on pretty much any card. And it's just honestly even like the only card I might not jam is another club, is what I'm thinking. Because I'm like, this guy's just when he doesn't raise me here, he looks pained right now. He doesn't look like he wants to be here. And I've watched him play multiple other hands where he made these exact expressions and just always folded when he faced another street of aggression. So he calls. We get this river, which is kind of awful,
Yeah, that's kind of
and
awful.
it's not good. And he checks to me, and I'm sitting there looking at his stack, and he's like, "Stop." He was like, "Stop." He's like, "I'm gonna call anything," and that's when I just snap jammed when he said, "I'm gonna call anything." Was just snapped it, and he he mucked his hand and showed King Nine offsuit.
Oh, Jesus God. Oh,
It was a super feel spot where like when he said that, I already didn't think he was strong, but this is a good card for him. It's pretty strong. But then when he goes, I'm calling anything. I'm like, yeah, the money has to go in right now. He's gonna fold to app. If I jam to maximum pressure, he's folding. And I thought it was a weird spot. Like normally on this card, I would have made a play of like maybe not even. I don't know. I might have shut down on this card most of the time.
Most of the time,
But
you should shut down.
yeah, like most of the time, I would probably shut down on this card, and like I can't really think of anything I can make fold here. Like I don't know. It's just a super
but
watching
still,
him.
the eights and nines, still have the chance of folding, but they get stickier when the second king comes.
Yeah, who I was considering was like maybe eights and nines with a club or something like that. Some sort of pair that contains a club or something containing another draw. Like he could have had
Yeah.
some like 4 5 of yeah 4 5 with a club and stuff like that. So I was like, there's a couple of hands here I can probably force out, and I would have gone maybe small trying to get them to fold. But once he said I'm calling anything, it was like, oh yeah, I'm jamming here because that's just the biggest sign of I'm not calling shit.
Mhm.
Anything, I don't want you to bet big.
Right. And
So
strangely, he meant it and he didn't do it. What, you know what I mean? So it wasn't a sign of actual weakness. His hand is fucking strong.
yeah. He's like, I thought you had ace king with the ace of
Thing
clubs
as
is what he was saying at the end. And I
Yeah.
was like, oh, that's what I had.
Yeah.
it's the same thing as them holding the chips out
Well,
and
I
to
honestly
be
don't think it was a
calling.
sign. But this guy, like I was saying, like you say, you think he meant it, but I don't think he did because this guy, I had watched him laying down hands like this throughout the night. Like he would
Right.
show me him laying down a
Yeah.
hand like this because someone put extreme aggression on him. And
Yeah.
the guy he was doing it. So I was like, I don't think he really meant it. I think he kind of just wanted me to bet small or not bet at all and get to a cheap showdown.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
interesting.
you see him next time. You should show him a good fold when you have it. You should show
Okay.
him a good fold. Good fold.
Yeah, that's I'll
Yep.
try
Don't
to
show
do
them when you don't have it. Show them when you
Oh
have it.
God, don't show him when you don't have it. Yeah.
it. So this is the guy I was talking about that other guy kept folding to. He was
Right.
loose, aggressive, does not fold. At first, I wasn't sure. He went on a heater where I was starting to think, like, because I stacked him off really early. Um, and then after that, he just started blasting like every pot after he got stacked. And I was starting to think, like, is this guy just pissed off and tilted and is just blasting into everything? I wasn't really sure what was going on, but that doesn't really apply as much to this hand. He was donking like every single time. He would donk on almost every flop, and I realized later that he did have a sizing tell. Like he would donk very big with his strong hands and donk very small with his weak hands, but he still just wouldn't fold his weak hands. So that's the information I have on him.
Right.
So I open ace 10 offsuit, get heads up with him, and we flop a gutter and straight flush and flush draw. And He does what he always does in donks, and his big donk size is usually like 40 into whatever it is. He's not a thinking player. Like he's not sitting here thinking about the pot size or any of that. He's just putting money in based on the
Right.
strength of his hand. So I think this is pretty strong. This is strong, but not crazy strong. Like he usually
Right.
goes 40 or like 10 or 15. It's
Right.
kind
So
of where
this
his
is
ass is.
so this is rarely a flush, and this is easily a jack.
Yeah, it can be a jack, it can be a king, a nine,
Yeah.
it can be any of that stuff. So he
Not a
bets
straight small.
25. Um,
Okay.
I think I just call here.
Sure.
Um, I could raise, but he's just not folding, so there's not really any point in raising, I feel like here. Like when we raise, we have basically no fold equity. I'd seen him fold. I mean, the reason he was getting stacked was because he just would not lay down hands at all.
Right.
So people were just making a big hand against him and getting all the money in as soon as possible, and he would just call you off with second pair.
Right.
So I don't really think there's any
Sticky, sticky,
value.
sticky.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's not really any point in raising, is basically what I'm thinking. And he will just continue to blast a lot of the time. So now we make our hand. And I think this is going to be good a lot of the time here. So now he bets 75. And he, this is where I was like really trying to think. I was like, I don't know, do I want to raise here? He blasts a lot usually. Um, but I also like he can have tons of hands that just, I mean, there's only two hands that contain a heart that are better than mine, or two cards that contain a heart that are better than mine. He could have picked up some two pair here that he's never folding. So
He can
that's
have
a
A
he
worse flush, a worse straight.
can have the worst straight. Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, you can have worse straight. That's kind of where I was at. I think I should have raised here. I did not. I called
You say he doesn't
because
like to. You say he doesn't like to fold.
yeah,
Following the
you're
money.
yeah, you're right.
The pot's big enough to jam against this guy. Okay, but again, you get to jam the river also. So we're okay, and there are cards we don't want to jam on the river. They exist. We don't want to jam. I don't think we want to jam a heart,
Yeah,
even though we've got
probably
third nine.
not.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
don't think we
So
want to.
yeah.
Um, So I think I should raise here though. It was really it's difficult to range an opponent that was like this.
Mhm.
But I think I shouldn't even be thinking about that as much and thinking more about the fact that he's just not folding. So let's
Yeah.
just put the money in, is
Yeah.
what I think should have been going through my head.
At these
So
spots, you should just think like a fish.
yeah.
I have the nuts. I go
hmm
all in.
Yeah.
That's what I should have been thinking is against this type of player who instead of trying to break down his range and where he's at, I should probably be in the situation of, okay, he has any pair at all right now is completely within his range. He's unlikely to have a lot of flushes here. He probably would have bet them a lot bigger on the flop. So we just jam and he's going to call me with a jack or queen jack, a queen, I mean, a king, anything is what I think I probably should have been doing here. And now we get this, which I'm not sure how I feel about it, but now he checks to me. And I'm pretty confident that I have the best hand and that he is not folding anything though. So I just put the money in and he actually calls me off and he had that.
All right.
Yeah,
And we
but we're
chop.
chopping, right?
Yeah, we chop.
Yeah, we chopped. It says winner, but we
Yeah,
chopped.
we chop.
But
Yeah.
yeah, he
He wasn't
and
folding. Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
he
There
was
was
never
no
gonna
chance
fold
he's folding top pair
flush draw.
and the nut flush draw. Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of I just think still in general. I mean, he was never going to fold there, but I think that the better move is to jam the turn over the river is what
Right.
I'm thinking. But yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot to hide this one. This one's
Okay.
only a pre-flop. This is only a pre-flop scenario. I think that it's right, and that'll go over my thought process. So I open, get called, and this is crazy. I had every like four players left, and four people sat down that were all like new players that had never that don't know how to play poker. Like I was sitting there like, oh, okay, you can check or you can bet or you can
Right.
raise here. Like it was like that.
Yep.
And this guy then jams, and he had openly said before, if I pick up anything decent, I'm just jamming it because he's like, I
Yeah.
only have $50. So I'm not really super worried about his range. Sometimes he has a better hand than mine, but I probably have the best hand often. But now we have dead money here, and I think that I just want to stick it in. It's basically what I did. I stuck it in here because I'm thinking, I don't really want to go three ways to a flop out of position with queens. I think I have the best hand here, obviously most of the time when they just call behind. But I still want to deny equity to all their hands that call. Is that the right thought process here? I'm thinking that's what I jammed here. And this guy calls and this guy folds,
Great.
which is good. I end up winning. He's got like Jack, Ace Jack or whatever. I take it down. But
Got
I
it.
mean, I think that's
It,
a
I
good
guess,
spot to jam it.
yeah. Um, Larry likes the jam. I want I want you to raise. I definitely want to raise there. I don't want to call because that really does start to price in. But I'm not trying to get them to fold. I'm trying to get them to pay. And so that's where I click raise, and they prop
Well,
bet.
I'm okay with at least one of them folding here.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean,
I expect I would expect them both to fold.
yeah, I expect them both to fold. This guy was kind of like, fuck it, whatever.
Yeah. If I had ace jack suited, I would fold there. If I were
Yeah, I
him.
mean, he
I don't.
should.
Yeah.
But he was one of the new players. He's like, do you know how to do that thing where you get the chips to like stack up on each other and
Right.
saying shit like that? So
Yeah.
obviously he doesn't know what
That's
the
what he
hell is
looks at.
going on.
He looks at his hand and goes, "I've seen this hand played on TV."
Yeah. So
Yeah.
we have taken down. That was quick though. I didn't have those were really the
Okay.
only hands I thought were somewhat interesting
Mhm.
was these spots.
So, is anybody else in this on this pre? Do you want to? Anybody want to call? Anybody want to raise less than jam?
Yeah, that's a good question because I was in between going to like one. So here I sat here and I started to count out like one. I think I started counting about like 150 or 160, which that would
And
have put
it's
him
jam.
in anyways.
Yeah.
And then I was like, well, let's just jam because I mean, what's the point? 150, he's all in. We expect this guy to fold often. I expect both of them to fold often, but that's kind of where I was at, was doing like 150 or just folding.
I can raise with aces and kings, but I think with queens, you prefer some equity denial.
Okay. I believe that it is never a mistake to jam there. I think I feel confident about that
Yeah.
because because when you raise, you are going to be very close to you're going to be very close to your threshold. Um, Now, the weird thing is that you wouldn't use, so you're four betting there. You wouldn't use the in position four bet size because he's all in. So if you get called by your four bet, you'll be out of position. So you should use the out of position four bet sizing in
What is
theory.
that, 2.75 or whatever?
In position is like 2.3-ish, and out of position is like 2.5-ish, something like that. So let's call it 2.5 against his go. So roll it back here. He jams for 50, 45, some number like that. He jams
51.
50. So you're going to go to 125 here, which
Throw the dead money
is,
on top.
yeah. If you go to 125, you've put in more than a third of your stack.
Yeah.
125, is that true? No, 375. You put in a little less than a third of your stack. So it does exist. You can do it. It's the same as jamming to number 175 and against the 390 there. Yeah, it's a third of his stack. So
Yeah.
I'd consider it.
And this guy tanked too, which is hilarious, and folded pocket twos face up and
Oh,
was tanking. And it's
oh,
beautiful because this flop isn't correct. I don't know what
yeah,
exactly it
yeah,
was,
yeah.
but it was 2-2. He would
Good.
hit
Oh,
quads,
oh, great.
which you want him to call in that situation, and then you
Yeah,
want to lose your mind when he flops quads. But
yeah, yeah.
But yeah, I was like, thank
Okay.
God.
Cool.
But yeah, that's all I got.
All right.
Couple of hands.
Anybody else got hands? All right. I will do something here. Here we go. Let me share the screen. Share. Here we go. Let's look at some hands that have been marketed. All right. Report. New report. Hand report. There we go. Show some marked hand. Here. All right. Here's some recent ones. We get to see what they had. Bastards. Let's not see what they had to start with. And go like that, just in case it wants to be a butthead. All right. Queen Jack in the small blind. We're going to raise to anywhere. By the way, usually 3.5 is fine. 4 is fine. Whatever size you want. Flop top pair, out of position. I can check for the check raise. I can just continue betting like that. I go for the bet. He calls. Life gets better. If I get raised here, I'm willing to go with this hand. Don't want to get raised. Size up a little bit. Get called. Make a straight flush.
Boo.
And what size does a straight flush? What does he got? What is his range? His range is a lot of king. Some of the king is 2 pair now. Can he have a jack for a straight? He
King
can have a
Jack.
jack here. It's
I mean,
hard.
Jack 10, Queen Jack all make sense, right?
They do. So I can go 30 or 35 here and probably still get called by that range. And then a lot of single pair hands are just folding to anything. So I can aim for the single pair hands and bet 10 and get called by a single pair hand, or I can go for the better ones and go 30. But
No, I don't think
go eight.
I don't think 10 is good.
Okay.
I,
You don't
I
think
think
wait a second, Sam, you think 10 is good because you don't think it's a good idea to target the single pair hands, or you don't think 10 is the right size to target them?
10 is kind of in the middle. Like he could have 2 pair here, right? Do you think 10 is gonna raise you?
2
Like
pair? No.
if you bet 10, do you think 2 pair is gonna raise?
No.
Compared to if you bet 5 or 6?
I bet 5 or 6 2 pair might raise. Also, by the way, I don't know that I want to target a single pair hand. I'm just going through my thought process here, which is that's how small I have to bet. So you think I should bet smaller against this not against his whole range, but against the single pair part of his range. You think I should bet smaller because it will also get 2 pair to raise.
Yeah, I think if you bet smaller, the single pair call, a 2 pair, even though slim, might raise. Might do it like a clicky raise.
Okay. So you think bet 6 for that, or go all the way up to 30 and get called?
Yeah, or go large because he just has like
Yeah.
like if you go large here, even the 2 pair might call you. Like a 10-9 calls you.
I think a jack. Yeah, and I think a lot of jacks call.
The queen 10. Oh, a jack is definitely calling
Yeah,
you. It's not folding.
Right.
The only thing is when you do bet small, a jack will raise you.
Yes, a jack will raise 6.
Yeah, definitely. If he has a flush, if you bet small, he would be raising.
Well, his flush is either the ace high flush, which is always raising, or the 8 high flush. Those are the only flushes out there. And the 8, I don't think the 8. Okay. So if I bet 6, does the 8 high flush raise? Probably. Yeah.
Probably. Yeah.
Okay. So I go.
Yeah, that's why I don't like the in the middle sizing. Yeah. Either bet small to give him some room to raise with his like marginal second nuts, or just go large and target like the majority of his range, which is like a jack.
Right. And do you go large? And for large, do you go larger than this, or is this what we mean by large?
Yeah, probably. I'll probably go larger than this. I probably like. How much is a jack gonna fold? I don't think a jack is gonna fold for 40. Do you think a jack is
I
gonna
think
vote for
Jack
40?
starts, I think a jack starts thinking about folding at 40.
I think if it was a front door flush draw that hit, it's gonna fold at 40, but since it's a backdoor flush draw, you can get more out of it.
Okay. All right.
At least,
So
yeah, at least
so a little
30.
small.
I mean, at
So I
least
was a
what you
little,
chose.
so I was a little small for what I'm targeting. Okay. That's fair.
He didn't call you.
No, I didn't call.
He jammed.
That would be nice.
That'd be nice. All right. So we're going to 3-bet this mother. We're with a king queen here. We go to 10. We get called. We flop this. We can play this as check range. That's fine. We can also do 3-bet c-bet. And does this hand like to c-bet in this? Yes, it does. Does this hand want to check raise against a small size? It could. This hand could check raise. It's got some good properties for a check raise. So I just bet, I do a continuation bet, get called, get no equity here. And so I think I'm going to shut it down now, given this line. Nope, I'm not shutting it down. All right, now I'm shutting it down.
Nice.
Shutting it down. I'm not shutting it down. I've decided
Yeah, see, David, that's not like.
I don't think this is good. Let's see what it was.
Yeah, but
Yep.
that hand would fold for a smaller
So much
sizing.
less.
Though.
Yeah, I didn't need to do it. Yeah, yep.
Like,
Not super efficient.
were you in position or out of position?
I'm out of position. I'm the 3-better.
He raised from the button.
Button raise, I 3-bet, he calls. I bet
Yeah.
small, he calls with a flush draw, easy. I bet I size up.
See, the problem is when you slice up here, he's unlikely to raise his jack.
So you want to bet here. So let's look at 2 lines here. So in a betting line, I bet small. This 5 comes, so I bet small again.
Small is fine, I think. Yeah.
Right. So I bet small again, like 15 small, 17 small, 10 small.
Yes, like small, like 12 small, maybe.
Okay. All right. Right. Okay. So 10 to 15. We do small. He calls, easy call. And now with a pot smaller and never having been raised, I just need to get an ace to fold.
Ace high or like pocket nines, pocket
Right.
tens to
And I
fold.
could probably get that with.
He probably doesn't have aces or
Yeah.
kings.
Yeah.
And
the pot's,
then
I bet 15 here. The pot's going to be 64 and I bet 50 into 60.
and then on the river, when you do bet smaller on the turn, he will have ace king, the offsuit version of it, with a spade, probably. But if you size up, that hand might fold.
Right.
So it depends on how you want to structure it.
Yeah.
But I don't think going in at the river it's necessary.
Right. So yeah, if I do the smaller size here, then I leave I mean, here I think I almost have to. Is that true? No, I don't. I can still.
No, I don't
still
think
go.
it,
I can still go
I
50
think
here.
yeah,
I
I think I think it's still a small bet because then the goal would just be to attempt to get nines to fold and
Mhm.
then to get like these kind of hands to fold. So 75 on the river, probably bet like I don't know, like 20, like somewhere between 20 to 30 probably gets the job done.
Oh, really? That's small.
Yeah.
So the pot is 60 and you're going to bet 30 into 60 on the river.
On the river, no, the pot is like 79, right? As
played, right? But I'm going to
as
bet
played.
but in the other line I've bet small here, so the pot is 60. And into 60 I was going to bet like 40. Into 79.
Oh no, that line is it's fine because
Yeah.
the pot is a little smaller. You could bet a little bigger, and his range is a little wider. He's gonna
Right.
call you with like tens, nines, eights on the turn with
Mhm.
a spade.
Now,
And on top of that, when you bet small on the turn, he's probably gonna raise off with his jack, even though he's in position. So he has more pairs, more marginal hands, less nutted hands.
Hmm.
So therefore, when you bet smaller on the turn, you could probably go slightly bigger on the river.
Gotcha. Now, if I take the check line here, which is also reasonable to check range, I
Yeah.
check. This is a board that's very easy for him to bet. I can look at this and go for my hand has properties that allow it to check raise. If I don't check raise this hand, though, I just fold it. I don't call this hand.
Ye I don't know. Depends on his sizing.
All right, so let's run it out. 21, I check. He bets 7. He bets
Yeah, like a small sizing, I might float. Anything over half pot, I'll probably just fold right there.
right. If I float, I give up here.
No,
and
if you
check-
float, you check, and then it depends on what he does on the turn. If he
Yeah.
checks back, that tells you something.
Then I
If
get
you
to
keep on. If he bets again, then we fold.
Yeah, we fold, right. And if I go for the check raise here, he's gonna call me. The 5's gonna come in my check raise line.
Yeah,
I-
I would not. I would not fire again.
Right, I wouldn't. Yeah, I
Like
wouldn't.
once I check raise, I'm not gonna.
Yeah, and I check again. He bets, I fold. He checks behind. I get to the river when he in a check behind mode.
Because when you check raise the flop, the range that you're against
Facing
is
it stronger, right?
significantly stronger.
Yeah, so let's play it out this way. I check. He bets 7. I go up to 25. So there's 50 more. So the pot is 121. I get this board. It's 121. I check. He checks behind on 121, and then I get this river.
Yeah, if he checks back, you check. He checks back. Then what is his range? His range is still
It's pairs
still
and pairs.
pair.
pairs
It has no jack, and then
Yeah.
it's hands like flush draws. Then,
Right.
like if we bet big enough, he's gonna fold his pairs. Then go big,
Do
because
you think
once
that-
he checked back, his range is pretty much like crippled.
Do you think though that he? Do you think that he does fold his pairs when my line is check raise, and then check the turn? That doesn't look like I'm a flush draw against his
Yeah,
pair.
that's what I'm saying. It depends when you do a check raise check and he checks back. Do we think he's a player who's capable of folding nines with a spade? If not, just get the ace high to fold.
Okay.
Why do you want to check raise it?
That's what I'm going through. I'm going through to see if I want to check.
I was gonna say
What are
this is
the
just
what are
a
the
hand that I have
properties? What are the properties that make me think it's that it's a reasonable check raise?
backdoor
Um,
flush,
Backdoor straight,
two
backdoor
overs.
flush, 2 overs, and 2 cards that interact very much with his jack continuation bet.
Yeah, so
blockers. Fuck you, blockers. That's
no,
why.
that's valid in this situation. I don't
Yeah.
mind. Like I like the like whenever a great time to bluff is when it's like a jack high board and you have, queen 10. It's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
you block a lot of their jack X.
Exactly. So that's why. So, but the question is, if I do the check raise line and it doesn't work, which this time it won't, and I do the check on the river, this guy is going to fold. But on the river,
Mhm.
he's got flush draws and he's got pairs.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
my
let's go
river
small.
size is my river size to try to get the flush draw to fold or the pairs to fold.
That
Well-
depends. It's a judgment call you gotta make it. Like, is this guy gonna fold 7, 8, 9, 6s?
The question is, do we get when you check raise the flop, you filter him, does he call there with anything other than the overpairs and jack X? Other than flush draws?
You
So he's
mean,
got flush draws,
does he
jack
fold
X.
all his 10? Does he fold all his 10s, 9s?
Yeah, yeah, stuff like that.
No, I
think
think
that
Yeah.
I think he calls one time and folds it on the turn.
So what
But-
size are you check raising to?
I was
A
gonna
normal size?
He went to 7,
3x.
go 25. I was gonna go just over 3x, 3.5x.
Okay, so yeah, I think there's still some 10s and 9s and stuff to stick around.
Yeah.
So then what do we got in the pot? We have what in the pot now? Like
It's gonna be
50?
100. There's gonna be 100. There's gonna
Oh,
be
after the
120. It's gonna be 120 in the pot. I'm sorry.
No,
No,
63.
No. There's gonna be 71 in the pot.
Yeah, 71.
Oh, yeah, no, now you can't
71.
really continue. That really sucks.
Yeah, there's gonna
Yeah,
be
you kind of are just hoping they fold on the check raise because now you're kind of hand tied, and unless they check the turn, then you can bet.
so basically there's
Well,
gonna
if
be
you-
this. There's gonna be this much in the pot after the check. It's gonna be this size. It's gonna be 71 instead of 79, and these are the pot depth. So can I bet this river if it goes check raise, call, check, check?
I would bet small, probably.
And just try to get an ace eight
But,
the ace. Just try to get
yeah, well,
the ace high flush to fold.
I think you have some. You can like he goes small on the flop, checks back the turn after you check to him, which is understandable. What do you do? So if you check, he just checks through. If you bet small, you can fold out all his draws. If you bet big, you can attempt to try and fold out tens,
Mm-hmm.
even something like queens,
Right.
possibly. It's just,
But is it
yeah, I
credible?
feel like the only option is small.
Right.
Because you
Okay.
could look like you're sitting, like you check raised with queens or kings or something like that, and then got scared when he called because it's a
Right.
paired board. Like you can
Right.
have that. Some people fish think that way.
Yeah.
So, like you could be Scotty the fishy Nemo,
Right.
and then I check raised my kings, and then when you called, I thought you had a jack, but then you checked the turn, so now I don't think you have a jack, and I'm betting the river for value.
Right.
Yeah, I think it's just best to go small though,
Okay.
because I mean it's just I mean I don't know, this guy's not a very good player, is he? Is he a good player?
Uh,
I'm not
on
good with the
68,
stats. I don't
on
know what they
68,
owe
on
me.
68, his hands don't, his stats don't look stupid. And his play on
Okay.
this hand, and from his play on this hand with the ace eight,
Yeah.
I would say that, let's see. No, I don't think he played this hand terribly.
Yeah, ace eight and
I would
yeah.
have folded the ace eight pre-flop, but it's not, but but I don't think it's a terrible call.
Yeah, then
Yeah. Okay.
I mean I probably would have checked flop, floated it if you
Mhm.
bet.
All right.
Yeah, I mean it's just very different. I feel like there's a lot of ways you can play that hand.
All right. We have queen 10 here. We are not folding queen 10 ever here. We are going to mix raises and calls and mostly call. And we call this time. And we flop middle pair. This should be an easy hand to play. He bets, we just call. That's easy. We pick up some equity. He checks. I think that this is a good check behind.
Yep.
I don't hate it as a bet, but I think it's a good check behind. We do. And the three. And our intent is to call a bet. And when he checks now, let's get a little bit of value from a very weak range. Very weak range. Let's bet four,
Three.
or five, or three and break the Matt Affleck rule. I checked behind.
Oh.
Thanky me. Okay. So yeah, so we all want it. We want to bet this river, right?
Yeah.
At this point, yeah, we want to bet this river and we want to bet it small. Okay.
You could probably go medium.
Oh, what do
Because
we
when
think
he
he gets here with? He bets the flop. They're going to see bet a ton. They check the turn, marginal hands, air,
showdown.
showdown value pretty much. And then I mean, the only thing you're
What?
super concerned with is a weak king that checked. So,
Yeah.
and sometimes you just value in yourself, which
Value
is what
on
it
yourself.
is.
Yeah, you value on
Not
yourself.
going thin enough. You're not going thin enough if you don't value in yourself.
Yeah, value. Yeah, value on yourself for four or five big blinds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
And then if you have a king here, you could go larger.
yeah, and exploitatively for three. Okay.
Because he has showdown. Because otherwise he would attempt to bluff, right?
Or he has nothing and it doesn't matter. So it doesn't matter what size you bet. That's the other thing is when you think of that, where you go, he would bluff here, even when that's not true. And by the way, we know for our opponents, it's not always true that they continue their bluffs, but it
Yeah.
doesn't matter.
I mean, this guy actually played it well.
But well,
Technically, solver wise, like he would see bet this board at a pretty high frequency, and his marginal hands would shut down here.
yeah,
Or his marginal hands would just, check down to the showdown, try and see a showdown.
yeah. I just didn't punish him enough on the river. And looking back on it now, I don't remember any of these hands. So looking back on it now, I got the right one of saying, no, I should bet here, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So we are going to, of course, we're going to three bet, we're going to four bet here.
Fold
And
four.
are we going to jam it or just raise it? We're probably just going to jam here. We do. And
Okay.
let's see how bad this jam is. Did they fold ace queen? Yes.
Yep.
That's the problem with the jam. They fold ace queen. However, this guy was folding his ace queen anyway, so
In theory, they should be.
yeah, they should. And that's the thing. Sometimes when I do this specific jam here, and it worked, and I think to myself, I go, yeah, but do I really want to just take this down with no like this? I'm never sure with ace king. All right.
Not the end of the
Yep.
world.
That's not the end of the world. I was just looking to see that. Okay. Pocket sevens. We're going to do an easy raise. We're going to get called. We are going to continue to bet on this board. Absolutely, I'm going to bet here. And
So if we were playing an implementable strategy, we're going to bet this hand often big, and then we're going to check with
a
a lot
lot.
of our bigger pairs.
Yes, we're checking a lot here. And when we bet, we think we're betting big. This was one I want to actually put this in a solve. I want to put this in a solve.
Just a
Yeah.
short question here, because it's a 2, 3, 4 board.
Yes,
I mean, it's very different to the 3, 4, 5 board, right?
that's what I want to look at.
Yeah.
Let's find out about that. It's exactly this. This is why this hand is here.
So I personally think my first guess is we should go big with pocket sevens here, and I think we should also go big with more pocket pairs than on a 3, 4, 5 board.
We're going to look at both those boards. Start with 2, 3, 4 rainbow, and just for fun, it's spade, diamond, heart.
My reasoning would be it's easier for him to defend on this board.
So, have you ever seen anything more reverse linear up till the aces in your life? Now, the fives and the six is not fair for the reverse linear because they also have a gut shot.
Mhm.
This is open-ended. This is a gut shot. They have a straight draw. But look at how much more sevens bets than eights, than nines, than tens, than jacks, than queens.
So the most important to me
Queens like
is
check.
that aces is actually betting here
Yeah.
quite a lot. That's
Right.
what we don't see, yeah. That's true.
Because they have the draw like the 5 and the 6. They're still betting less than the 5 and the 6.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you get this to 5, 6, 7, where the aces don't have a draw, I think it's going to reverse it. So let's play with that. So the sevens like to bet, and the size likes to be 3.3, and 5.5 is not bad. And you can bet small, but 3.3 is the winning size. All right. Let's take 1 second and see what I did. That's 3. Pot is 5.5. I bet 4 instead of 3.3. I'm fine with that. Given that it does a lot of 3.3 and 5.5, so I did a 4. I'm fine with that. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. All right, now board is instead 3, 4, 5.
Aces still bet a lot.
They do. Now the sevens with
They
a
still
gut
have a
shot.
gutter though.
Yeah. The sevens do it. We still have the same reverse linear world where it gets crazy reverse linear. And the overall check frequency on this one was 62%. The overall check frequency on this one was, so we check more. Yeah. So we bet this board more than we bet the 3, 4, 5. Why did you think that was true, Bub?
That we bet this one more or for a bigger sizing?
I thought yours was that we bet. What was your thing? What was your prediction? That it was
I said we would bet it a little bit more because it's easier to defend for the big blind.
the 2, 3, 4 compared to the 3, 4, 5?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, we do. We bet the 2, 3, 4 significantly more than we bet the 3, 4, 5.
But on the other hand, okay, maybe it's not even true because we also have a lot of ace eggs. Maybe it's easier to attack this board with our hand. So yeah, it could go in both ways, right? I'm not sure about
So
my
finally, the
prediction.
aces check.
Right. Once the aces don't have a gut shot to go with them, once they don't have a straight draw, they fall into the reverse linear mode here.
Mm-hmm.
This is beautiful.
Yep, and I think that is a really nice
Yeah,
observation.
that's nice. All right. That's enough to learn about this hand. Let's see what happens. He calls. The 3. He bets. This is
Leading into you now?
he just leads into me, which he's allowed to do when the second card
Yeah.
pairs because he has plenty of second card and I don't have much second card that I bet. But I'm still calling. I'm not folding here. I'm just not raising him. Yeah, I'm calling. See what he does on the river. We fold. Now let's see when we got beat. Or let's see how this would actually happened.
I'd love to.
We got outplayed. We're doing this though, right? We're folding here.
Yeah. I think so. We don't have any reason to believe. Leads a 3 and then the one thing that's inconsistent is leading on the 3 and then
And then still going big.
jamming on the 4 card.
It's not inconsistent if he has
If you flop the straight.
deuces, 3. Here's all the hands that this works with. Deuces, 3s, 4s, 5, 6.
5, 6. Yeah.
All of which exist. Ace 5, which exists. All those hands make sense here.
And he has that hand so much more than he has hands that just contain a single 3. So yeah, that's
Yeah.
actually pretty
Right.
consistent.
Then this comes in the single 3, shouldn't be very happy, but I don't have a lot of 5 and I have plenty of ace. So it still works. It's just a little strange.
I wouldn't even be worried if I have a hand like Queen 3 here. Right?
I mean, if
It's
you
like-
have a 3,
No,
you're folding.
you have so little 5s.
Yes, you have 5s, but then my thinking would be, well, when I donk here, you
Which
have
one? You're the big
on the
blind.
turn, yeah, I'm on the big line.
Oh, you're in the big blind with Queen 3. Right.
Yeah, when I donk here, you're gonna have all the over pairs. You're gonna
Right.
have Ace X. You're
Right.
gonna have pocket 6s, pocket 7. So I wouldn't take this sizing. That's the
Right.
only thing that I'm like, this sizing looks like it wants you to fold.
Right. This sizing is making it is encouraging overpairs to fold that don't have an ace.
Yeah, so
Maximizing greed against an ace.
like if I get here with like Queen 3 or Jack 3 suited, I wouldn't think twice before value betting. It's a must value bet for me.
Right. Okay. I'm with you there. But you wouldn't choose this size because this size
No,
are
I
for
wouldn't.
a lot of your target range.
This is exactly the size I would choose for my bluff.
Right. Yeah. So with that in mind, is anybody here finding the call?
Probably not.
No.
Because this guy did it, but we believe that our opponents underbluffed this spot, and this time he just happened to be bluffing.
I don't know what opponents these are, but these opponents are obviously better than the usual. You see the people we play against.
Yeah. Well, this is the $100 game. So
Yeah, they're some better players.
okay. All right. So he got me with that one.
Mm,
All right.
Especially not with 7s, because now you're kind of blocking what he's repping as a bluff.
Yeah. How he got here.
Yeah. Like, if you're gonna call, probably with a higher pair, I guess.
Good call when you have pocket aces there.
Yeah. That'd be nice. Here we go. We raise an ace jack, we get called, and we're going to predict that he does not have a small blind range here. That's going to be our prediction to start with. He donks.
Ooh.
All right. Now,
Big size.
the Nuffle checklist has this is as a call against fish. His stats are not particularly fishy. So if I don't Nuffle this, it's okay. As hands
Yeah.
continue with, this hand has better properties than ace king
Yeah.
and slightly better properties than ace queen. I think I'm just going to fold. to this size. Yeah. All right. Let's see how bad this is. Eh, eh, it's a
You're Ned. You're the best hand.
yeah. I had to be a fan. Yep. Okay.
I mean, you could call with the ace of spades, obviously the backdoor flushes, and then with the ace of diamonds, I guess.
You're saying so because when it runs out, then I at least have a bluff opportunity.
Like ace jack with the ace of spade, ace jack with the ace of diamonds. Yeah. If you're gonna if I'm gonna nitpick,
Right.
you know, I guess it's fine.
I don't even
That-
hate the fold though, because when they donk bigger, at least I read into the sizing of the donks
Yeah.
often.
yeah. I would like to
Now,
say. I would like to say
1-2
that
is
he does.
different.
Yeah. I just want to say, as I claimed, we raise small blind here. We need to give him. We need to give him one where there's a calling range. Let's do the three has it. Let's see.
Yeah.
Does this one have a calling range? I don't think it does. This 2.5 button raise. Yep, here we go. So here's a calling range. No. So we at least that prediction was right that he is not in a hand that has a call that calls. Oh wait, yep, it's got point. No, that's a raise. It has no calls in GTO world. So what? All right. So you read into the size strength here, and I would have liked to fold ace king here before ace jack, and ace queen before ace jack. I don't hate it.
I
Well,
do
I
find it
guess you're
difficult to fold when in position against
yeah.
donks. That's the one thing that I don't like doing
Yeah,
because of how much they tell you where they're at on the turn.
yeah, that's a good point. That's a good
Out of
point.
position, I mean, either way, it's not a donk.
Right.
I mean, if it's
That's,
out of position, but yeah, from in position, it's like
yeah.
if he went like 12, I'm just snap folding. But I think
All right, we're gonna
when
mark
they,
this. We're gonna
yeah,
put a note on this hand to ask Mike. Ask Mike, read full candidate. Because if it is a nuffle, we're calling. And also about the hand. Nuffle candidate.
Your fish radar is off. The
You
hut
think this
doesn't.
guy's a fish? You think this guy
Yeah,
is a fish?
it is a fish. Call you with king jack eight suited
That was
and
kind of
dom.
fishy. Yeah, that was kind of fishy. Yep. Yep.
Well,
But we didn't know the hand. We only knew the donk. All
when they call from the small blind, you could just assume they're a fish.
right. Probably. I'm not.
there are reasons to
There are
do it.
more. There are more. There are more people calling from the small blind who are fish than there are who are good players playing correctly. That's for damn sure. So I'm
Yeah.
I'm, I'm with you on that. Okay. Let's have a tiny party here on this. If he had an actual range, which he doesn't, and this one's going to have some donk.
And
Oh,
while we were talking about this, Sam, when do you identify somebody's a fish? Because I honestly like it starts pre-flop. When I'm sitting there watching people that are just making egregious pre-flop mistakes, that's when I'm instantly like, marking them as a fish. And then sometimes I will give them more respect later on because there's people that don't play well pre-flop, but they make good plays post-flop that I've noticed them. And I'll kind of like mark them
Yeah.
as okay, they play poorly pre. But post flop, they actually just aren't super straightforward and have some interesting, like make some interesting plays, it seems.
Yeah.
mark
When I
people
first
as
sit
if-
down, I classify them as all fish
yeah,
until
exactly.
they
That assumes
and they
everyone's a fish.
until they prove me wrong.
All right.
Yeah, and I do it in a different way than you because I
So
know that you are like more willing to try and blast people off of stronger hands than I am usually. Because that's just until they've shown me that they can fold those things. I'm more of go online of like if this guy I don't give them the respect that they're able to fold those hands until I see that they can, because most of them just don't.
Yeah, I probably should tone that down just a little bit better, like a
yeah,
little bit.
yeah,
Like, yeah, I
But
mean,
it's fun, man. It's fun.
I mean, half of my game and half of what's super valuable, like finding bluff spots and stuff is from Hungry Horse. Like, I found a lot of bluffs from like a lot of what he teaches,
Yeah.
but I think the biggest, most valuable thing that I've learned from his is getting max value because I assume that most of the players are unable to fold top pair. So when they're
Yeah.
unable to fold top pair and I dominate that, I'm getting maximum value from it.
Yes, I agree. I totally agree. Right now I'm trying to tone it down. If it's not more than a $400 bet, I'm just not gonna try to get him to fold top pair.
Yeah, I mean, even like that guy you saw where I did that jam, he folded top
Yeah, yeah,
trip.
that was because you saw him.
Yeah, I knew that he is capable of it. I've seen him fold trips before that, and I'd seen him fold top pairs that weren't super strong. But
Yeah,
like prior, if I'd never played with the guy, never seen anything, I would have absolutely never
Oh
blasted off
God.
there.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would assume that I'm getting snapped off by any king there, no matter what.
Oh yeah. Right. So we couldn't get any insight from the solver because the solver didn't have the big bet. But against the small bet that the guy
Mm.
made, I mean against the only bet that solver allows, we are calling fucking
you're
everything.
not you're not folding.
We're not folding shit here. You know, ace jack is so far up in this.
Neither am I.
But I don't know that it's a mistaken fold against the bigger size with that. All right, last hand.
No, go back to his donking range though.
What is his donking range?
Yeah, they just ask the question, what is his donking range? If it's weaker than the solver suggests, then you should be calling way more what than the solver says. If it's stronger, then you should overfold. It's a very simple way of thinking.
But we have to
Well,
adjust.
it's obviously
But you have to
weaker.
adjust it for the size. But yeah, but you have to adjust it for the size. Well, he doesn't have Jack 8. He doesn't have that. So it's
Well,
there,
no, just
But
look
that still
into
shows
his
it's weaker.
look into his range and see what is he betting.
he's betting.
You
He's
go to
betting.
summary, that would help.
There. Oh, go
On
to summary.
filters on the lower right.
Lower right. I gotta get you guys are in the way of lower right. So let me get
Sorry.
you guys out of the way.
So
It's
summary or filters, I think it is.
it's above the
Just
where you
above.
are now.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Strategy range breakdown.
No, other down.
Nope, nope.
You're right there.
Where they show each hand. Go down.
Lower.
Okay, go here.
Yeah,
Summary.
Go up.
there you go.
Go
Thank
one more to the right. Filters.
Filters. Summary. You guys are right in the way. You can't see it. All right. Filters.
All right.
Right.
This is what he's betting. He's betting everything.
Yeah.
He's betting
He's dunking. He's
16
dunking across his entire range.
16%.
28% of his third pair is better.
His dunk range is balanced.
It is balanced. So here's what I would think. He's betting 30%, 28% of it. It's a third pair. Most players don't do that. And then on top of that, he's calling too much pre-flop. So on top of Jack 8 suited, he probably has like 8 9. I mean, not 8, like 7 8 suited. Queen 8 suited. So he's my suspicion would be this donking range is weaker than what the solver would say. Then therefore I would just call.
Right. Now, do you think this guy has a small donk and a large donk in his range? I wouldn't be surprised if he chosen the large donk size.
They probably have. I cannot be
No,
I
we can-
cannot be sure, but
Yep.
just by looking at his pre-flop range, it's wider, and then he's probably checking his nut hand more than the solver says. So the range is already I could deduce is probably just weaker.
Right. Which in general the donk ranges are, and that's where Nuffle comes from.
So therefore I'm just not gonna fold.
Okay.
Like, I'm gonna just flow with my entire range.
All right.
What if he
Last
donks to a even bigger size than that?
Then I really don't know. I mean, he only bet 4, it's like 2/3 pot, right? It's like
Yeah, it's
kind of
not-
big, but it's really not.
Yeah. I mean, if he bets 12 here, we're folding.
Oh yeah,
Like in game, let's
Six.
say I'm playing my game, that would be him betting 15 into a $20 pot. I'm not folding.
yeah. It's still kind of small.
Okay.
Yeah.
and see what he does on the turn.
Yeah, he checks the turn.
Yeah.
Let's play it out. So if he checks the turn, what do we want to do there?
Well,
Because
we got the turn matters. The turn card. Let's make the turn. Let's make the turn a blanky.
blank.
Let's
Yeah,
make the turn.
blank turn. Say he checks it then. When he checks that turn, we're sitting there with
Then we
ace
bet. Then we
jack.
bet big.
I would be in between on whether we have showdown or not. I would say that what he's going to donk a lot of his straight draws and his marginal made hands. So let's apply pressure to, yeah, we can bet and get value from his straight draws and make them all fall in the river, and then we can get value, and then we can jam off all of his marginal hands as well. So yeah, bet big on the turn then.
And the bet big for me is not an over bet. I'm going to bet I'm going to bet like 70% pot and 70% pot on the river. So I'm not jamming. I'm not setting up a jam to win. I'm just setting up a healthy, you know, I had a hand. You don't. My hand is
Mhm.
better than yours.
Yeah.
And hope that it's a jack and not an 8 and not a queen and not a 7.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Last hand. Uh, Queen 8. We are mostly in this case folding, but we have some raises of Queen 8. So let's take this raise. Yeah, the Queen 8 does has raises in it, so we do it. Get called. And chat. He bets out, and then we're just gonna fold.
Yeah, we're just done.
Yeah, we're just fold.
Let's see what he does this with.
Well, how about that?
That shit hand.
Yeah. So there's
Scotty,
your
I think you should have jammed.
donk of strength.
Yeah.
All right. Yep. And let's
All
make
right,
sure
you're out on Monday.
I am here on Monday. Let's make
Okay.
sure of this one thing here. Let's make sure that this indeed does have raises in it. When they go that Queen 8 indeed is a raise. Yes, good. Good. Just making sure.
Yeah.
Wasn't full of shit. I was just full of shit. All right. Yes. Monday we're on. Sorry. Yes, Monday we're on. I'll see you guys Monday. I should have some live hands for you.